Pretty impressive, though. As far as the rally back has been concerned, off the low, wow. Right across the board, tech stocks bouncing, travel stocks bouncing back, even some of the beaten down resource stocks that we've been talking about a little bit earlier in the month. First couple of weeks of the month, they were rallying back to the upside today. It has been an interesting day for tech specifically. It's the semiconductors that are leading this move back to the upside, where some of the hardware makers and software names are lagging ever so slightly. We will talk about Meta coming up here off that quote unquote fierce headwinds headline that came out there. Still a little bit of a volume surge in this as far as Meta is concerned. But anyways, here we go. S&P 0.2 to the downside there. The Dow 0.3, almost 0.4 right now for the NASDAQ. So we tried very, very, very hard to get to positive territory. We'll see if we can end the day in positive territory. 5.5, 6.8 there for Bitcoin and Ethereum, still struggling. Basically lows here for crude oil as we head towards the end of the pit session for oil in about a half an hour or so. As I was mentioning over here, semiconductors starting to see a lot more green coming through now on this board. ENPH, SEDG higher right out of the gate this morning, but there's Intel up now 1.2%. TXN, TER, MCHP all about 1% to the upside. QCOM trying to go green as well. NVIDIA still 1.6 to the downside. Micron still in negative territory ahead of earnings coming up tonight. Consumer discretionary stocks showing a little bit of life as well. There's Lennar, there's NVR, PHM. These were all red early on in the day, so now almost 2% to the upside. Utilities looking good here. Real estate stocks looking good. Pfizer on the vax news for the U.S. government looking good, back to the upside. The pharmaceutical names in the healthcare group in positive territory. The healthcare equipment makers, not so much. Industrial stocks as well, starting to show a little bit of life. But one of those days, pretty impressive reversal for the overall market off the bottom this morning. I hope your afternoon is going well. It's one of those days, kind of feels like a Friday, but it's not a Friday. It's a quiet market, volume down again across the board, but pretty impressive kind of grind back higher here. Mullen, I just noticed 92 million shares today on MULN, almost 100 million on RevB. NRSN still top of the list as well, 52 million for that one. So a lot to discuss, a lot of opportunities coming up here this afternoon. Glad you're with us. We'll jump into what we were discussing in the pre-market to kick things off. How did you do at the open? There was a ton of things moving around, ton of opportunities. Sean is here to talk about a crazy move today in one of his trades.
Yeah, I think a crazy move. I mean, there's been so many crazy moves early on. I mean, we had Amazon written right here on the sticky note today to short 108. Get out of here. Let's talk about why we looked at that level. Here's Amazon today. I mean, you want to talk about a crazy move. I mean, we have the very high of the day here at 108.50, and there's our out at 102.50, right? I could go back and forth, show you the outs, show you the ins. I mean, down here, 102 has been the bottom. We don't go back that far enough, but what I wanted to show you right here was this 108 level, right? So right here, 108.50 coming into play. I mean, it's kind of one of those levels where you get a lot of these wicks. Unfortunately, our charts are going to show all these deep prints, but because of after this split, there's just been a lot of these. So, but right in here, 108.50. If you go back to the 22nd, 23rd, 24th in here, we kept bouncing off 110, 109. So honestly, today I wrote down on that sticky note that I threw that, like, let's just wait to see what happens around 108. So we want to get that short. So here's a couple shorts in the pre-market up to 108. Then as the market opens up, we just sit there at 108.50 or whatever it was, probably 108.40 something. And we're like, you know what, let's take this. The reason why we wanted this is look at yesterday. So when we started to come down, we pulled back down. Every single time we bounced off 108. And then we came in today and saw that the NASDAQ was down, right? And so it was like, okay, Amazon's been having this wild ride on the daily chart. And I thought, you know, retail's been pretty weak. Everything that we're hearing about. We had Restoration Hardware week last night as well. Notes all over, right, that there's been a weak consumer right now. We've had credit card numbers come out, not great, too much debt. So I just felt like Amazon was a short today. And it looks like we are 100% right, so we take these shorts. The first couple outs here at these pre-market levels of 107, so it's still $1.50, $1 in the money. Then as we start to come down, we start to respect some of these pre-market bottoms here again of 106, 106.50 drops down. That's a 105 out, 105.50. Let it fall the rest of the way down. And unfortunately, we don't have a big piece on, but we do wind up getting the rest out as it bounces off that 102 level. A couple lessons learned here. One, we love this 108.50. We're back short right now. now. So we like that level. Second lesson, definitely 102 has been supported. Unfortunately, I didn't zoom all the way back, but you guys can do the work. Look at the 102. There's a big level there at 102. When we dip down from 130, which we had that short as well, all the way back down to 100, it stopped at 102. So we'll continue to look at that one. But yeah, I'm going to be short until we get back up to this 108.50. So we have a trade on right now. I believe it's like 107.25 or something. You can see it's at 107.44. Let it breathe. Let it breathe a little bit. If the market wants to go back up, fine. That's fine. We have our levels. We're not going to average into this until we get back near that 108 price. And then on the way down, I don't know, is VWAP in play again? Maybe. That's 105. This is a 50-period moving average. You can see we're well above it. The trend has definitely changed over to a long. But I'm going to say, look, I know it feels like a Friday. It's only Thursday. We're also into a holiday week next week, of course, with the 4th being on Monday. So yeah, I just feel like there's going to be some movement to the downside here. If not, we can be wrong. And if we're wrong, we'll probably get out at 109. But Amazon this morning, wow, what a great trade for us. We were just sitting in this, letting it fall down. It was amazing. We had AMD short multiple dollars as well. That was a big trade. And we had one more. I can't remember what it was, but we had a couple big banger shorts on. Amazon, the trade of the day, as it just kept on falling.
What a move for Amazon. A lot of V bottoms all over the place. Crazy looking charts today on the intraday time frames. Amazon, one of those. I mean, Apple, Microsoft, they all look very, very similar. All were on the watch list this morning, guys. That's the link. Make sure you grab it every single day. The market is open. The watch list is free. WWE popped up there on some volume, not really doing anything anyways. Logan Paul apparently signing a contract with this one, WWE up 2%, but they're fading this pretty hard coming back in here for WWE. Anyways, I want to talk about this story because a lot of people are picking up on this now. There he is, SBF. Pretty interesting note there. CNBC picking up on this first, I believe, saying that, yeah, they are very, very close to a $25 million deal that would pick up BlockFi. For FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. Only interesting because, I mean, it was, what, 4 or 5 days ago, he was apparently going to buy Robinhood, guys. But interesting note there for FTX.
Yeah, found something more interesting or better or more relevant.
You said 25 million?
Or something.
Get this. Go to, yeah, there we go. Get this. I just look, guys, that's 99% below its last private round funding, which they got at $4.8 billion.
Which is like it's something cheaper, right? Like instead of paying.
I mean, we're talking about two different things. I mean, for him to take out Robinhood was $7 billion.
But that's the point. It's
price.
like it's all like wait for it to go to $2. If it goes to $2, the stock. So you remember you were just doing the trade of the day, and when you were sort of saying in the other one, you were talking about CCL.
Right.
That was the other thing.
That was the other one we were short.
A lot of things tanked this morning.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I mean, you could point to just about a million things today, but I think the bigger story, obviously, is the rally that we've had here and going back toward the highs. Just impressive. You get these V-shaped bottoms on a huge volume and you wipe out you run a lot of stops, and you come right back to the upside. I mean, I'm not like, I guess I can talk about NEO. It's the only short I'm in right now, but yeah, this is exactly what we mean. You break out these lows, it holds 21, and then suddenly when you have in 21, good level actually. When you wipe out that low, you can consolidate higher above that previous support. Shorts just have to start thinking about covering because they've been deep in the money a lot of times here. In this case, I guess it was a short sell report as well. But sometimes you let it make a top before jumping back into it. It made a top at 22. And I was sort of saying in the midday chat for some people I think that were maybe paying attention that when the market did barely a pullback, when it rejected 22, NEO went all the way back to VWAP. And then the second I saw that, I said, okay, well, this is when I want to short off that high, just because it's shown me that when the market showed a little bit of trepidation there, NEO rejected that 22 pretty hard. So it's given some good opportunities, but this market has given you a ton of them out of here today. I'm sort of staying a little bit true to the word, which was it was clearly a mistake. I tried a couple of longs during the fray in big cap names and wasn't willing to hold on to them, but the small caps have been giving you good opportunities for the longs. That seems to be continuing. I'm back into Rev after earlier, back into EVFM. And Mullen, I mean, Prad talked about this one yesterday, so I'm going to get this out of the way now. Prad was long like, 111 off of 110 in Mullen. And it went like 5 cents up or whatever it did. Like, small move on a cheap stock, but that's all you're looking for. Mullen today in front of $1, it got to 102. I've just been long a couple of times here. I don't start taking out till 4 to 7s. Maybe it'll get to like a 9 or a 10 if something crazy happens. They were expected. I think they were supposed to have some kind of news come out, and we don't know when that's going to happen. But the stop's at $1. It breaks $1, I'm out of this thing. There's no hero trade. It's just sort of obvious. You're just sitting in front of an even level. And there's not as big a bid at 1 as I saw at 110, but $1 is one of those linchpin type levels that we'll just stand in front of most of the time.
So I'll do one better for you here. It was SPY as well that we had short. We were short here, 377. We covered at 374. So tick down $1, tick down $2, and then there it is right there for $3 cash money right there on that trade. So a good little look for us here on the SPY as well this morning. And this is what happens, man. Like when you think, not when but when you believe that something's going one way. Look, we had CCL short, right? That was a banger cash. That doesn't look that good on there because it didn't really move that much. AMD, I mean, this one could have been the trade of the day as well. Short there, out, before again, shorting now again and taking some more out. I mean, look at all these tops here on AMD. Now the market's starting to get back upside again. So those were some good plays this morning. And then honestly, this one's going to hurt, and I'm going to have nightmares about it, but not really because I made money. So this one will be fine. But Microsoft, we picked that bottom, guys. 253 we have on the bottom here for Softy. My best out, 256. Hey, we got to go spin it because also we called the market possibly going green. The S&P did go green, by the way. And then also, let's just do diamond hands because we didn't really have those there. But I still consider a $3 hold is not too bad on that move upside for Microsoft. We got out because it came back into some of this consolidation that happened in the pre-market. And I guess we just got to believe ourselves a little bit more because, yeah, the move continues to the upside here on Softy as it just continues to rock, touching 260 basically right there, 259.60 into yesterday's closing. So yeah, Microsoft almost turning back green. And again, we did think that there was some motivation in this market to be bought back up there. It's still, even though I know it's not Friday, it still feels like a Friday. There's more trading to go tomorrow. But
because it's month end too, right?
Yeah, because I don't know, honestly, it's not even the month end thing's not even getting to me. It's just like, this is what it is today. But anyways, big trading happening here. We're back into the short. I mean, we had shorts earlier, but right now we're short CCL. We just told you about our Amazon short right here. And we're going to have a board to run down very, very soon. So all is well. But I can confirm or deny with Brendan here when we throw back. Do we have Miss Danielle Shea on today?
No. Cottage.
No. Sorry. No, she is taking an extra long weekend, and good for her. She works very hard. So we wish Miss Shea well, and she'll be back with us next week, guys. So no Miss Shea this week. Let's talk Meta here, and some fierce headwinds apparently coming for Meta. This was a headline that popped up just about an hour or so ago. Who was it? The product growth manager or something like that? Chief product officer, yeah. In an internal memo talking about very fierce headwinds to come in the second half for Meta.
It's interesting. Like when that headline dropped, you can see the volume spike on Meta. It was one of the stronger names out there in the market. Well, I can't even say that. Like I say that because I haven't looked at enough charts.
Come on,
right?
Amazon.
It's like everything's done that. So market's starting to head back down here. We're going to start taking some profit on this NEO. But as I say that, when that headline dropped, it was trying to break 165, wick top at 65, and pulled back almost like $1.50. It then came back and same thing, wick top at 165. Sometimes these events give you prices to work off of. So 165 looks like a bit of a line in the sand this afternoon on Meta. So we're going to have a look at this one. I'm guilty of this. I've said every day this week and every day last week, when you have an idea at the open, make sure you revisit it at 10 o'clock. I got in and out at 160 on Meta. And then after 10 o'clock, it then tried to go again, made a higher low, and broke out at 160. That's what I mean by that. Like, even if it wipes you out, like I lost 30 cents on the MetaTrader, 40 cents or whatever it was, but it was just sitting there for you after 10 o'clock for that same entry point as the market was going through. And look, there's probably a million things that did that, but the point is, and it doesn't matter the kind of day you're having, right? Because I probably got distracted by the fact, ooh, look at the small caps, they're going, and those longs are working. But the ones that didn't work came right back into play at 10 o'clock, and Meta was certainly one of them. For the afternoon, I got to be thinking the short at that 165 or a chance to get it again. That's dual wick tops on Meta that we've now seen. So in the case that we rally, fair enough. Otherwise, I got the Neo short. I'm going to hang on to that. Look for a few others here in case we don't get Facebook. Meta.
Yeah, I mean, I had that 160 short as well. I mean, that was about as clear as long off that, and we got busted out on Meta. But I love Meta. Meta was #1 stock yesterday. It's going to be my only negative stock here today. So we'll have one negative stock. It'll be Meta, and we'll go on from that. I feel like we should have just respected that 160 level. We didn't. I mean, I crushed it yesterday off that 160, but the problem is this time it actually dipped down to like 158 and change, right? So Meta today does make that move to the downside. Amazon just cranked lower there. I was waiting at 107.80 when we did that trade of the day. We didn't get any of that, so it would have been pretty cool if I had a better price, like in the 50s. Then I would take some out. So just to let you guys know, if you are in AMZN right here, I really do feel like that you can get this you can get down here 106.60. That's where I'm waiting. I'm actually waiting at 80, so it only dipped down there to 90. With 10 more cents, we would have got out a half. And then I am going to wait now into this area 107. I mean, let me just put an order out there right now for Amazon. What's on the board here? We're talking about Meta. So, okay, we don't even have Amazon, so that's okay. I'm allowed to do this. Normally, it's Fahad that gives me in trouble for here, but he's off this week. So, all right, we're going to put an order now at 107.60, but here it comes back down. 106.80 for Amazon is the level that I like. So hopefully that will come in, and we'll be able to get out a half. If not, we're reloading this thing up here at 107.60. So yeah, let's see where we go on this one. I like it. Our AMD is $1 in the money on that short as well. That just hit 77.40. We're going to put a bid down there. We have enough shares on this name that we can keep getting in and out of it. So if we do get another dip down, let's just call it 50 on AMD, then we're going to get out there. So AMD and off of Micron. We're going to semis. Okay, we are going to talk about semis soon, but Micron tonight, guys, after market close. That should be great.
Bada bing.
Let's talk about travel here, guys. I was just noticing CCL trying to bounce again as well off 875 or thereabouts. None of these that I know of, anyways, have gone green, but a valiant effort, anyways. If I flip over here, you can see we're almost back. It's amazing to say, but we're almost back to where we were yesterday on CCL. Pretty impressive bounce here for these as well. We say travel every single day on this one, but it's really just Carnival Cruise Lines, right?
That's all that we trade.
We're traders, and crazy. That's all. We don't even trade NCLH. I don't think I've ever.
Well, you know
ever.
why? I
think once I traded
NCLH.
NCLH.
Such a cheap price. I mean, Carnival at $10, you can push more shares,
and it does so much volume. Yeah. And you want a good vehicle, right? Like you want to drive something nice, or you just want something that's going to move for you. Carnival, and Sean was talking about the good short this morning. Carnival 2 days in a row was pretty good. Morgan Stanley saying it's going to, or possibly going to zero. I don't want to misquote them there. Ridiculous call, but I guess you know what they mean by that, right? Like the company's in trouble. Yeah. So it did flush. It bounced off 8, and I remember saying I wanted to hold on to a piece of that bad boy. I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to just a tiny little bit, thinking it can break 8. It came right back up to this 830 level. I'm showing you the breakdown on the higher time frame in the 15-minute. I reloaded in front of 50s. That did not work out. I then put in a little bit of a scalp short, 50s down to 30s, and then right up at the top, I then took one shot there off the highs at 70s that got taken out. So a huge, huge comeback for Carnival Cruise Lines. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's bull flagging, trying to break out at 875 or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we've done the wipeout bottom, and now suddenly you've just gotten to the point where, hey, it broke the low, it manages to hold $8, and all you're going to do is just wipe everybody out here. So, at this point, it hasn't really taken out yesterday's top, so 9 is very much in play, but a very impressive comeback for Carnival Cruise Lines. It was tricky to try and even make anything out of that short in the afternoon. Like, there were a couple of pot shots that worked. Like, it did pull back in there and gave me like 20 cents or so, but eventually, every time I reloaded, I was just getting stopped out break even or 5-cent losses. So I've stayed away from it. I went to Neo just because it was a little bit relatively weak, I want to say.
All right, I don't know. We talked about CCL. I mean, it was the number one name, I think, on the sticky note here today. And what we were just looking at, of course, was a break. I'll just get it for you because I actually don't even remember what was the number one name on here. Let's find it right here. Yeah, there was CCL. So CCL right there, $9 down to $8.50. Multiple downgrades, a little bit beat up on valuation the last couple of days. Neil just hinted at that from the downgrade down to 0. But I just think that it means that we can short this name and try to hold on to some of these shorts and be relatively confident that maybe the shorts will continue to print for us. So we had it early on here in the pre-market, so not a lot of shares, made the move down. We averaged in, we took some of that out right now, and now we're back into it same way again. So I feel like up to $9, you're not really in trouble on this name. So we'll wait to see where CCL goes on this one. But yeah, I mean, NCL, they're all the same. RCL here, I'm going to hope that's in New York. I think NCLH for some reason is a NASDAQ name, but RCL, the same kind of thing. Look at the last little while, man. $42 down to $33 there. I don't know, big moves down. But today, good move off the open again. Maybe this is better to trade. Like, we'll have to do a little bit of work here because this is a monster move. Like $35 down to 33.
Yeah,
I mean, I know when you're wrong, it's going to hurt you just as much. But like, if we're not going to be wrong, we might as well take something like this. But again, a $35 name, a little bit different than the rest. Where is my daily chart? I just want to see what this looks like on the daily because I don't know why we don't trade this as much as we do the others. Okay, I cannot find my daily, so I think it's been closed right now. So I'll get that back. But yeah, we trade one more than the other, and maybe we should change that up. I mean, this is just a 20-minute chart, man. Like, this was $57, like, hello, all the way down to 33. Like, what has changed in this business in the last week? I guess it's more than a week, last 2 weeks. I mean, these stocks have got absolutely decimated. Okay, AMD, I see you, bud. A nice move to the downside, so we're going to go, yeah, buddy, and do some backflips on that one. Or was that front flip or back flip? I missed it. But there it is, a nice little out for us on AMD. We're taking $1 on that trade. And then here comes Amazon, and we're going to see how low it goes. We're waiting at 106.80 for this one. So Amazon, let's go, man. Let's see this move to the downside. But a nice take there on AMD. Bang on that one, Brendo.
Market trying here, guys, to bounce a little bit. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on the market overall. NCLH as well, trying to get back to positive territory on the day. Not really getting there, however, compared to what the other two are doing, as you saw, 3.6 there for Norwegian, but all kinds of volume on all of them. I want to talk about semiconductors, chip makers, whatever you want to call them. We mentioned Lucas was laughing at the title that I put. Anyways, the tech stocks. We were talking about tech stocks in the pre-market this morning. When it comes to Apple, Microsoft, they were all showing a little bit more relative strength over the past couple of days. Today wasn't the case. To the downside, NVIDIA and AMD were kind of pulled out yesterday on a downgrade, but these are leading back to the upside right now.
What's funny about semiconductors leading? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see what's funny about that. It's a good, good headline. Lucas was apparently laughing at it. I don't know, whatever. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. Look, I like 156 on NVIDIA. At least it wasn't as bad as Coinbase, because I missed Coinbase short in front of 50 by 3 cents this morning. Went to 49.72 and I was at 49.75, and then it plunged like $5. NVIDIA here, and if you watch back the tape, you can actually hear me say I'm not chasing 9:30. It always comes to you at 9:30, and today it didn't. Like, you got the one wick up, and then there just was not another one. I refused to chase it at 154. I did eventually take a quick long in front of 50s that immediately stopped out. I reversed to the short, scalped my dollar, whatever, on NVIDIA, and then just sort of got away from it. And then, 150 comes right back. It was at 11 o'clock. It was a little bit later on, but it reclaims that 150 level, consolidates above, and then off to the races. I did trade Micron. They report aftermarket. Obviously, we know this is something that can affect the entire space, especially when they give their guidance. And during the midday show, I did say, I felt like there would be some selling in this stock. When it got back to the pre-market highs, took a quick short, scalped it twice, and took out the high, walk away. When the market makes a move like this, where it's a V-shaped bottom and decides we want to go up, anything that makes that kind of a bull flag and starts taking out the top, just I'm just going to get out of it, man. It's too strong of a move. If it's showing me relative weakness and pulling back and breaking support a couple of ways down, getting the view up, that's fine. Like, Neo's doing that. Micron isn't doing that. It went one shot to the high,
Bye-bye.
tested it, and then you found support for after 20-cent wins, and all of a sudden, now you're running higher. So that's why I'm not short Micron anymore. And when I say that the juxtaposition, when I say that NEO was different, NEO went to the high and rejected all the way into VWAP, and that's why it's a relatively weak stock. That's why I'm more comfortable shorting it. You're seeing it work here. You got to pick your poison. It's such a bullish move that the market made. You really can't just be sitting in there and shorting anything at the top because it happened to be weak this morning. Yes, all the chips fell this morning. That doesn't mean all of them can be shorted at the top. You saw what Micron did through that high of the day. Sucker's bet if you held it through.
Bye-bye, market. Ciao. We'll see you on the next side there. Look at Amazon. See you later on that one. So we got a nice little $1 soon in the money. 75 cents now in the money on Amazon. And yeah, for me, I'm shorting all the chips every single time they pop up. So that was a good one there. And again, I haven't looked at Micron, but just looking at AMD, short. We've been crushing this name. I said, again, this is another sticky note name. Please follow it at TraderTV Sean on Instagram or on Twitter, because we had all these trades nailed for you as well. So we'll take another piece out here on VWAP. I mean, you can't paint this any better other than, I mean, right there, I can't, in there, 77.80, out like at the top of that move, bottom of that move, right? Shorted it. I mean, I guess we didn't need to average in there. You can see why I like that average in. I mean, it should be pretty clear right there. So I'll take that average in all the time off of that. And then we got a gift up there. And so now you're coming back into VWAP one more time. So yeah, good trading here for AMD. Keep it short. Until we break 80, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm shorting this name every single day, including tomorrow. If we come in and it's near 80 and the market's blasting and we're like feeling good about the market, then maybe we'll take a long. But until your boy's not feeling that great about it, then we are going to be remaining short into Amazon, into AMD, Micron, NVIDIA, everything. Tonight we get the goose, right? We'll see what happens here tonight off of Micron earnings. Hopefully, it's a good report and they can save this sector, because they've been getting beat down. Like, I mean, I've stopped buying. Like, that's how bad it's been. Normally I'm sitting buying all of these dips, but SMH, again, like down to 205. I mean, some of these names here absolutely decimated just due to valuation. I mean, if you want to pick anything up, don't look at Intel. You don't have to look at anything. I would just honestly just pick up some SMH. Like, you're down real low. And I don't know if it's time yet. Like, as I said, we're going to be waiting for the report today to see what happens. But nice move down for SMH, and you're right at these bottoms again. So I believe the last time I was buying this was 230, 240 something. So it's not like some of these investments have been popping off. I mean, unless you've been short any of these names, then you've been in trouble for a long time. But right now, SMH, nice downside move here. I mean, I can check out Intel. I don't know. Oh yeah, now Intel's. Yeah, I mean, all these
they're
names.
all up today. Like, that's, they've all bounced today.
Yeah. No, I was just looking at what its price was, because I remember this thing was like at 55 or something. But they're all getting hit. But Intel nicely bouncing today as well. So I don't know. Pick your poison in the space. I said this yesterday about what was next to drop. We have the price. We have many of these economic ideas in our mind. Are we in recession? Are we not? What kind of a CPI are we looking for? So on and so forth. But I really feel like we have this now. And all we need is earnings, that next shoe to drop, right? So let's see what happens with earnings tonight, and then we can reevaluate the current prices here on some of these names.
For July 13th, I believe it is, we'll get the next CPI reading, which I just realized is also the same day the big banks will report again for earnings. So that's an unfortunate coincidence. Chinese EV makers were very, very strong. Neil was talking a little bit about NEO there. So I'll show you this chart, because one of the few that is holding up very well today, 1.8% here for Li Auto. I mean, this daily chart is impressive to say the least. Like, is this the same market even? 20 to 40 in a couple of weeks for Li Auto.
So here's the thing about it. I said how impressive that daily chart is, and we got pretty much the only price that was going to work for you on Li Auto this morning, which was long off the pre-market bottom. It then worked right back to the pre-market high and then stopped you out. So that's the only way you could have. A, you had to have your stop at the pre-market low, otherwise you got destroyed. And B, you can't take the breakout.
Right.
I don't think. There's nothing about where it bounced that I would have felt confident about, to be honest with you. And that has more to do with, like, its PE is still insane. You can look it up. And I'm talking about how strong the chart is, but it has gone a ridiculous amount here. all things considered. And I think that's why you want to be careful taking breaks on it. Always, if you play off a support level and then you know where your stop is going to be, it's easier to be disciplined with your entry point on a stock that if it goes down, it could just, it feels like there's a 10, 15% down day coming in Li Auto. But it is an incredibly strong chart. So as far as I'm concerned, I want to find opportunities to go long in it to the best of our abilities. And if I'm picking shorts, unless it's off a monster level, which I think 45 and 50 will be when it gets there, you can sort of see how many stocks are within a stone's throw of their 2020 highs.
Right.
Name them. And that are growth stocks with ridiculous price earnings ratios. Li Auto, and if you can find another one, I want to hear it, because I'll tell you this right now, it might be crowded, but if this thing gets to $50 in this market environment, give me a break, man. I'm short 49, I'm short 49.50, and I'm not saying I'm getting shut down on it, but I remember when GME would hit certain levels. I'm not really comparing it to GameStop, but it's in that vein. But make sure you have a structured trade. I decided it was NIO that I wanted in the afternoon for the reasons sort of stated earlier, and I think it's just it showed its hand selling off of 22s, so that's why I decided to short in front of 22s. It's working now. I just got some 75s out there in the last little push down. But we're not really capitulating on this market. This market's holding higher lows, so pay yourself. I think VWAP is perfectly reasonable here for NIO. So we'll try to aim for that to get the rest of these out. I'll reload in front of the high of the day, but if it takes out the top, again, I know where I'm going to be wrong on NIO.
Yes, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I mean, I think that for everyone that's watching us, welcome, and hit the like button. But, you know, Neil and I both are very, very, I keep getting these stupid spam emails, and I'll tell you about them after. But look, I just got an email from Ted Cruz, apparently.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah, Ted, come on the show, Ted, man. Stop emailing me there. And if you just want to come on the show, I'm just playing around there. I don't know how sometimes they get these emails, but maybe it's because I don't know. Maybe it's just the business that we're in. I don't know where that is from, but that's just funny. And I didn't want to say it because I don't want to get political, so don't, that's not what I'm talking about. Just funny.
It's just a spam
I get
email,
emails from Neil, Brendan, People like that, and all of a sudden, Ted Cruz shows up. Okay. All right. So let's just move on that. Now I don't even remember what I was saying. Chinese EVs. Yeah. So, Alibaba's been really strong. Look, I think Li Auto and all these names, I almost feel like there's something going on with these names because there's no real reason for them to be up so much. There still is that supply chain problem. I feel like the COVID is also that COVID zero there, reopening up in Shanghai. I just feel like they've gotten a lot of bumps from a lot of those reasons, and I'm not sure that they are deserved, but congratulations to everybody that's been long on Li Auto and NIO and XPeng and all those, especially Li. I just feel like it's time to short those, and that's why I sort of just not jokingly, because I'm not joking around. I feel like you can get shorts on these, and maybe it's time to get some options or something like that. Because this has just been an extended move. And you're going to come in one day and you're going to get Goldman, or you're going to get the CCP themselves downgrading it. All they have to do in China is say one negative thing about the auto industry, and then the stock tanks. So do you think that honestly some of these Chinese multinationals or whatever aren't shorting the crap out of this because they know that there's some kind of a release coming? And it could go the other way as well. Maybe there's something coming on the positive side. Not to always be a Debbie Downer here, but this is such a big move up. It's well out. I don't know why this is only going back to January, but it's well outpaced the rest of the market here. And I just feel like this move is coming back in at some point. So, hey, look, it's not like it's a bold call or anything. What goes up must come down, especially in this environment. But
not Micron.
Let's just wait to see. I don't know. Who does their accounting? I don't know. I know Price Waterhouse does Alibaba. Neil does the accounting. Yeah,
I did a year of accounting in
Yeah. So I'm selling that. No offense to you, but I'd be selling. Exactly. So, hey, I shouldn't misspeak. It could be an American company. I have no idea. That's the risk with these Chinese names, right? Is that you're not playing in the same ballpark as everybody else. They could release different things. Remember those Chinese education things? So they were $25, $26. EDU is one of them. There's a couple other names. I can look up EDU. Let me look up EDU right now, and then see if I can.
Uh-oh.
No, it's fine. Just wait. It'll come. I had to go over to New York. Oh, like we never trade them. But, this one, I think this is back now, actually. If you look at a daily chart, maybe I'll load it up on e-signal here. But
they reverse.
Oh, no, they reverse split. Yeah, so it's not going to work. So I do have to look this up on e-signal so quickly. Our platform won't show it.
So it's at 20. I said 250, so that would be $25. It's at $20. So that's.
But just look. I mean, this is what I'm talking about right here. So, it was literally like $60. I mean, first of all, it just kept. Yeah, you all right there, Neil? But that's because of the split. Oh yeah,
Look
right
at the
there.
Chart.
So there it is. But that's Neil's chart. But I have the split adjusted chart and everything right here. So $200 was the high, and then you just see it cranking. Then it goes 60 one day. The very next day, the government came out. So first of all, it was already on the downside. So you don't think that people are already short this name, that know this is coming? And then the very out of the blue, you see tons of volume here. You get cut in half. Why? Because the government comes out and is like, you know what? I think that we're going to make these public. Like we'll fund them. No more making profit. No more privatization on the educational front. Now I am paraphrasing this. I don't know the exact thing, but there's a few other names like that. And I just think that's where the risk is here. They could drop news on the EV space. They could drop news on tariffs, anything like that. That changes the game for Li Auto, for NIO, for XPeng, things like that. So I would just say, if you're in this name, great, hold it. I mean, there could be a great trade coming. There's already been a great trade. It's just I have to caution that, there is, I feel like, something behind the scenes on this.
I just want to mention some vaccine movement to wrap things up. Interesting on an intraday basis, though, some of those EV plays out of China. I mean, wow, what a move the past couple of days for those. Pfizer, I just noticed, guys, made a day high, came back in pretty hard. It's trying to fail here, 3.5% though. Back to the upside today. There's two different ideas here. So the antiviral treatment that they came out with, Pfizer came out with, they're asking the FDA for full approval. It was just emergency use, EUA, that they got for that antiviral pill. And then BNTX as well, also with a big order in the billions coming for more vaccine.
And billions. So when this broke out, it was during the midday show, and I think it might have been exactly when, at some point, I think I might have just yelled it out or was talking to Pratt or one of them. But I was sort of saying I was going to get involved in this if it dipped back to the breakout price, and on Pfizer specifically. And then it never quite got there. Like it was 52.35 or so. And I was sort of sitting on the bid thinking you get that perfect price. But if you just bought like 10 cents in front of it, you were good to go all the way back up to the highs. We're talking relative strength here. The market just pulled back. You saw the market pull back. And Pfizer, on the other hand, is continuing its breakout. And what you love about it is it's also a breakout on the higher time frame. It doesn't want to pull back further. So you got to break out at 52, then you break out the high. So you have a double time frame break. You're at the highs when the market's pulling back. So this feels like it's going to be worth buying some dips going into the close. And maybe you can look at other names as well in the space, probably just as strong. I just like what we see over there in Pfizer. And there was a question in the chat. I think it was, I don't want to mess up the name, so I apologize because I already forget it. Someone was asking, how was my price in NIO? 98, if my original entry was 94 and it never went back there. So I'll zoom in. But NIO came up, got 94s here, worked halfway to VWAP. I actually reloaded at the same price, but it did pop to 202 right at about 150 just before we came on here. And it popped to 22, popped to 22. That's when I got the 98 short. So it did get up there. If your charts don't show that, I don't know what to tell you. But it looks like it is sort of going sideways off this 75 level. VWAP is the target. The market is going to have to help us out for that because this V-shaped recovery is still holding up pretty nicely.
What was all that talk? I mean, people didn't. Their
so
charts...
they were curious, how's that your price? Because I actually was talking about NIO in the midday show, and I think I even said that I got in at 94.
Okay.
And they're like, how was it 98? Because I took another fill when it went to 22.
Gotcha.
Because that's the area that I was playing off of. So I just wanted to just go over that there. That's all.
Yeah. So we're on a prop firm. So some people saying whose money are we trading? Not ours. They trade the world. So you can find that out. We got to you pay for your shorts, everything like that. You get the buying power, and then you deploy it in the market, and then based on your success, you get more capital or less capital, and that's what you throw into the market, and so on and so forth. And then we also have daily stop limits that we have to adhere to, and the stop limits are roughly a percentage of what you make. So like, you know, you can't make $1,000 a day and then your stop is $5,000. I mean, it's just like, it's in relationship to how much you make. So that's how we trade here, and that's that. And we do also have to be flat at 4, I almost said 3 p.m., at 4 p.m. Every day. So we will wait to see where earnings are coming and whatnot today. But VAC stocks in play, or did we even talk about that yet?
Well, I mentioned Pfizer.
Oh, okay, good. So that's fine. Yeah, we're done with VAC stocks then, I guess, because I don't really have much to say about that either. Moderna, Pfizer, all those names, you know, rocking and rolling. And I feel like, you know, we do have something coming up right now, or soon. We're going to talk about different stocks that may have peaked. And I'm just wondering if Pfizer is one of those stocks. Hopefully we're not doing that right now to talk about it, but there's been a lot happening with Pfizer, obviously, since everything. Vaccine, are you? Is that what you're doing?
No, look.
Oh, I missed the chat. Is that what Brendan's doing? Pfizer was, oh yeah, that's right, okay. So Neil and I were looking at, Neil and I were looking at a list. I'll tell you the story. So, you know, what we're gonna do is we release videos, and then so we're gonna release a video on the weekend about stocks that might never go back to their highs. And anyways, so we were looking it up and we were doing some research because we get a note about, you know, different things. And anyways, Neil clicked on an article and we were reading it and it was like Gap. Okay, so GPS. All right. I was like, okay, retail, we'll see where that's going. That kind of makes sense. I believe GE was on there as well. So I was thinking to myself, okay, General Electric.
Then we got to rip.
You know, that's,
and I'm like,
come on, man, you're ruining the story, man.
My bad.
Ruining the story.
My bad.
Okay, that's fine. But anyways, so then we're going through it all, and then as we go, I'm like, GE, okay, the split, maybe it's seen the top. I could believe in that. Boeing's Industrial's having some problems. And then Neil's scrolling down, he's like, research in motion.
I'm like, huh?
And I'm just like, research in motion, what is it? And he's looking, he scrolls up, and the date was, 2011. And I think it showed your phone there as an example, but it was like,
actually, I didn't have that BlackBerry phone. My wife had that.
Yeah, it was like the original BlackBerry or
really
something like that. But anyways, Pfizer, and the funny thing was
Pfizer
was also on that list, but you know, they have a chance to go back up here. I mean, that high was $62. Since we are going to talk a little bit about VAC stocks here, I just wonder, you know, as good as it gets there during the pandemic, right? Like, is there going to be another opportunity for them to be as much in the news and, you know, as many people talking about Pfizer? Like, my kids even know the word Pfizer now, so it's like, well, maybe they don't, I don't know, but maybe they do. But anyways, I just feel like it's been so popular that maybe it's seen its best days. But you know what? Now that I think about it, sometimes it's the best when you're undercover. So, you know, it could have even had more room to go to the upside, but, you know, too many people talking about it definitely puts pressure on the stock. So anyways, funny story. There you go. 242 here on a Friday.
Yes, sir. Oh, no.
I know it's only Thursday, but I just keep saying that. I said that as a joke.
It's so
It feels like Friday, I'm telling you.
The funny thing is, like, no, none of you guys even flinched. Like, I said that.
That's the weird thing about it. I was just like, yeah,
wait a
right.
second. What day is this? But anyways,
Where's the
Brendan,
beer?
long week, my friend.
Yes. Okay. I was going to mention NRSN, guys, because we just broke back through that 420. NRSN was one of the top on the volume list. If you saw even throughout, yes, Lucas, thank you, 420. It was on the top of the volume list basically all day long. NRSN back through, yes, 420, if you missed it.
Come on, Lucas.
Come on. You guys you're killing me. But I'm in stupid Revlon, which is, it just got back to VWAP when NRSN is the one that really wants to make the power move here. So, I don't know, maybe we picked wrong with that. So NRSN, I think about $4 here. Looking for things that can run, that's a good volume spike. Now, it's going to look very similar on Revlon. I'm not going to bother pulling up the chart. You can see Revlon doing a similar thing off $5, but stalling at VWAP instead. I'm long 511, but I should have been long this thing much stronger. $4, we'll try to buy the dip on NRSN. I haven't made a single execution on this, despite how crazy it's been going.
That's funny. Valeria should FaceTime. Who was that there? I agree, man. I'm going to get her to do this. Where was it? Oh, right here. Tom Anthony. What's up, Tom Anthony or Anthony? Valeria should FaceTime in when she's in Starbucks. There, that'd be kind of funny. Yeah, shout out to Miss V there. And yeah, maybe we should get her to throw back a little bit. Okay. By the way. Meanwhile, as we go stamp this on you, Amazon, as it continues to fail here today one more time. And yeah, your trade of the day, just got spicier. I mean, we had Amazon short. We're hitting it short again. And I mean, just rewind the clock in 30 minutes, not even, when I was like, Amazon probably gets to this 106 level. So there it is, 106.50. I mean, we're in the money now, $1 on this name. And by the way, look what else just ticked out for us on VWAP. It never looks great when you get some out and then it continues to tank down, but he shoots, he scores now as hockey just ends like in June 27th or whatever that was. Crazy. That's going on way too late, but there it is, man. I feel like we're doing it one more time, so shout out to Bear here. I was going to turn him into a bull, but we didn't today. But shout out because you know what, man? This is just getting to be real spicy now. There goes AMD. We're in the money. Like, we're doing it again and again and again, man. Like, every day we've got some of these bangers on. And I mean, CCL, like, look, like AMD, we put this on for you. Like, this is at $78. We talked about that all during the midday show. Even Prad, his best trade today, he put on because I was like, Prad, just short AMD. And he cashed in on that one, obviously. And then we did put on Amazon in front of you guys. They're right at 2 o'clock, right when we were doing our trade of the day. And there it is, cranking lower as well. And then, oh yeah, by the way, CCL just gives us an out as well. That's 7 cents in the money. Let's hold these shorts into the close where, you know, we don't have a ton of shares on this, but I'm pretty happy with the position that we have here heading into Power Hour.
As we wrap up, guys, get ready for it. For the S&P 500, the worst first half of the year since 1970. We're going to talk a little bit today about some stocks that may never see the highs ever again. Are these, in fact, going to be dead forever, guys? Not a good quarter. Heck, not a good first half of 2022. If you're in any of these, you might want to reconsider.
Okay, so I'm going to start with one, and don't at me, Kathy Wood. But Roku.
She won't.
No, she won't. But Roku. And look, and I've said this a couple of times, and maybe not out loud on the show. I'm going to zoom out so you can see. Look, I mean, is it saying much that the stock is not going to see 490 again, the double top? I mean, it's at $80. That's probably not that crazy of a call. But the other thing to think about here is when I start thinking about innovative companies and ask myself, like, what's their model for 10 years from now? And I start thinking about Roku's product. It's like, what are they doing that is so great? Like, I get it right now. You have a lot of people not adapting to, you know, these smart TVs, and it is what it is, and everyone's going to be able to stream from just about anything. But I just don't see what it is about what they're doing that is going to be a big-time winner that just can't be destroyed by a lot of bigger players. It doesn't make sense to me on a fundamental level. And on top of that, think about this. The stock has gone from $4.90 to $80 right now. That big of a drop. And you want to tell me they're almost triple digits PE?
Yeah, I don't want to tell you that, no.
What? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So, like, what would you don't even waste your time with the napkin math to what it would take for them to be back at $500. It's utter nonsense. And that doesn't mean the stock couldn't go up from here, because the short term, there are some interesting things that they are doing. Like, don't get me wrong, being able to purchase from advertising, that's a good thing for them. In the short term, you would have heard me say there's going to be a trade if we get a market rally here. It holds a 50 period, because you can get like 90s to 100s, and a relief rally might take you to a 140 or a 150. I get that. You've definitely come far enough. When something's come down this far, you can see those types of rallies. That's definitely potential there. But that's nowhere near getting to 490. That's nowhere near to being a company that's going to be a leader in 15 years from now. So Roku, that's the one for me. There's a lot that I could have picked. I wanted to say Lemonade. But I decided to go with Roku because I feel like it was just a more interesting name. Yeah.
I didn't want to pick a Kathy Wood name, but there's so many there. Like we talked about before, Upstart was $4.80. Now it's $30. I mean, you're not going to get back to 500 in any of those names as well. But I'm going to do a little name that is a little more. I mean, just like Neil's there. People have heard about these companies, and I feel like the one that I'm going to choose for you is going to be a fail. And I feel like they've definitely missed the first mover advantage. They've definitely missed out on their opportunity to become king of the plant-based meat department, and that's going to be Beyond Meat right now. Because honestly, like this name, if you just look at what's happened to it, it's just straight to the. It's not even like it had any of those like major wick moves. I mean, there was. I'm not going to talk about like what happened when it IPO'd. I mean, you're going to see some crazy spikes happening here. 198, so on and so forth here. Big moves. There it is right here, 250. I'm not even talking. I know we're talking about if it's never going to get to its highs again. I'm discounting these highs. I don't even care about these highs. I'm just talking about like you're not even going to get back to January highs. I don't even think you're getting back to $100 on this name, right? Why Tesla continues to work is because they execute properly. They are the first mover in the EV space. Everybody loves Tesla. And honestly, like once people own their cars, they really don't ever think about driving a combustible engine again. Now, maybe that's not the case, but here we go for Beyond Meat. Now, I see it all the time. People aren't happy with the taste of Beyond Meat. People aren't happy with the way Beyond Meat uses too much estrogen. They're not happy with the fact that, you know, the quality of the product, some of the beef jerky that they released, some of the fish. It's just, I feel like they've lost their way a little bit here. They are 85% down off of its 52-week high, okay? And the big thing about the first mover advantage is, to be completely honest with you, they've blown that because now you have many more entrants that have come in. You have the Impossible Burger. They've also been one of the first people to have deals with KFC, deals with McDonald's, Burger King, everything like that, and their stock is still all the way down. So if competition's in now, they don't really have first mover advantage because now people are making their own burgers, they're creating all this other stuff, and they're kind of forgetting about Beyond Meat. They're even having to discount their food. So they discounted 12% and revenues dropped 10%. So what? There's only a little small 2% there. I don't feel like they're getting back, and that my call for a stock that I wouldn't. Again, this is not to say that you can't invest at these levels. I'm just saying I don't believe you're getting anywhere back. And this is 2021 year, May of 2021, $100. You also saw it right here again back in November. So I feel like Beyond Meat is one of those names that we don't even get back even close to their high.
It's a very good point you make in that these are not necessarily stocks you shouldn't invest in because they could potentially be a good trade, a good swing trade even over a couple of weeks or months. But will they ever see their highs again? Guys, I'm going to pick on Netflix because that might be low-hanging fruit to some. But this is 701 was the high at the very high anyways. This is the weekly chart of Netflix. This stock is broken entirely below 200, below 180 even now, and is never going back to its high, even if we get the advertising model, even if they figure out this 4 or 5 different login problem on the same account, this stock is not going back to its highs. If they do get that sorted out, we might get a bounce. Yes, a tradable bounce, but this is a broken stock that is going to continue to the downside. 17 PE right now for Netflix. I, for the first time this month, in fact, started to question why I am still paying for Netflix because I don't watch any of the shows that are on Netflix. Maybe if they start to get into sports broadcasting or something live, might be a little more attractive. But anyways, there's our take on a few stocks, guys, that are never seeing their highs again. Netflix is ugly. I just realized how bad this chart is. Pfizer, back to the downside here, just popped up on some volume as well. Back through 5250, I guess there was a huge volume spike there for Pfizer, guys.
There was also a big volume spike on, I was just complaining about Revlon, saying that, now it's NRSN, right? Like, yeah, NRSN was looking stronger, and the long, I was whining about the long in Revlon at 5 being weak, and then Revlon goes up to like 540. So there you go. I covered it when it failed 550. Got right up to 550 on a dime, the same lower high from the morning, and then looked like it was pulling back. So I covered it there at 42 because I love that number. No, that's not the reason. It pulled back off 550. That's the entire reason. And it looks like it's still strong. I'm going to go back to the well here. I want to buy dips. I want to see it consolidate either back at 20s, where it was sitting all afternoon, lunchtime I should say, or off of VWAP. So if it pulls back, I'll look for that consolidation to get back in. This is one, and we talked about it this morning, as a simple matter of when you have these runners, sometimes they just have to unwind and then find a bottom. And like you waited for it. It did it once here at 650. Remember that 650 playmaker and some of the other people in the chat there I know had this. A couple of days at 650 and it had a secondary run. When that flush, you're waiting for it to do it again. It did it for one day at 520 and then gave that up the next day. Then you watched it here at $4 and then holding. And it's not always about getting the break and getting the absolute bottom, because quite frankly, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I was long this thing at 450. Nah. But when it showed me that it was just going to be that up day, the relief day, I looked at it break 5. I said started long at 5 with a 475 stop, and then we're just doing that all morning long. It eventually gave us almost $6. I didn't reverse short. That was poor on my part because I said I think it's going to 6, and that's where I want to cover. I think it can be a turn. I didn't short it. That was a huge mistake on my part, but going to go back to that well if we can. Pfizer, everything's pulling back in here, so it looks like the market does want to do that dip. Might not get some of the other shorts that we wanted. Where's Neo here? He's going to come back. Yeah, it's almost at VWAP here, so I guess we're close to getting out of Neo at 2150, so 22 to 2150. Looks like the pullback is on.
All right, yeah, the pullback is on. I mean, to say that I'm surprised about that one there. How's those fries there? But
put the camera be on you.
Yeah, that's okay. You love your fries. Okay, so Amazon right there. I just told Brad, like, where's my fries? But
you want some?
No, I'm just playing around. But okay, so there goes Amazon. The market's cranking lower, man. Amazon's $1 in the money. AMD's $1.55 now in the money and still going down. So we'll just play this one more time for you because honestly, we're just gonna hold these and it's printing. Money. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do, man. It should be good, man. That downside. Let's just see if this keeps on going. I don't know. Not that I disagree with Brendan. I mean, I think that Amazon content, it's never going back to those highs.
I love Netflix.
Sorry, Netflix. I meant. Yeah, I like it. I feel like right now the content. Yeah, definitely. Like Brendan mentioned there, it has slipped a little bit. But you know what? Like we were going through yesterday and we actually opened it up and I realized I still have Ozark to go. I still have a few other names that I need to watch. I mean, I don't have Ozark to watch because I only have maybe 1 or 2 more episodes of this current season, but also I haven't looked at Stranger Things yet. I think there is some content there, but yeah, I mean, Brendan is Sans kids. So that's the other thing, right? Like what was that? Yeah, you know, and that's, so I agree. I mean, you can only look at so many things. Your time is only given up to so much. But the thing is, Neil and I, you know, like my kids, there's like these my daughter's like obsessed with gymnastics. There's like a few of these gymnastics shows that are on there. And again, you know,
Floor is Lava.
Floor is Lava. Yeah, I mean, me and Neil and Brendan, we're going to go on that soon. So when we go on the Floor is Lava, then
I would kill to be on that show.
That'd be hilarious. I would just jump in the lava right away. I'd just be like, forget this.
I'd run that show.
I'm going right in, yeah. So anyways, that would be a lot of fun to do that. But yeah, so I just think, and I agree, I think that Brendan's right. There's going to be some consolidation there, whether or not it's through Disney, Discovery, things like that, Paramount.
Yeah,
I mean, there's going to be something there. And I thought that someone was going to buy out Netflix. So that was one, or you know, have some sort of a togetherness there, and I believe live sports could be the key. I mean, already Apple is doing, and this market's just tanking. Like I'm just holding these shorts. So Apple's already doing what, Sunday night baseball or Friday night? They're doing something where they do 1 game a week at least, and it's pretty cool. The Jays were on there, and I was watching it. It was some pretty cool things that they had in there. I don't know who the color guys are, the commentators, but anyways, consolidation in the space definitely needed.
And just while we're talking about the market here, I did mention maybe too briefly about me being in Mullen. I saw someone ask about it just very quickly. It is sliding back down. This is what we call like barcoding. So unless it's profitable for you to take, you know, 2s and take 2 or 3 cent winners, it's probably not an exciting trade for you. But I did get some at 5s because I'm just on the offer 5, 6, and 7. And if one breaks, I'm just going to get out of it. It is sliding back down, but these levels are gigantic. And when the volume slows down and there's so much on the bid, it's just really difficult for this to break it lower. But at the same time, it's got to chew through some sizable offers as well to get upside. So it's not as risky as it pulls back. It looks like it was the right call to cover Revlon there. Yeah, pulling right back. I mean, it got a little bit higher, maybe 10 cents extra you could have had. Doesn't really settle much at VWAP. It breaks it, gets down to 28. I don't want to get involved in the wick bottoms. I've kind of made that mistake before. Like I did that here, and I was like, yeah, that's just because an entry ends up working, I'll show you what that looks like in real time, right? Like, just because an entry works doesn't mean it was a good one. And it's not a good entry point. That's down here would have been a good entry point if I wanted like 5/8 or 5/10. This is a good entry point here. when it breaks back out of that consolidation and then puts in, that little bit of a low, holding these higher lows, that's a good entry point there. You get the same price without the level of risk, because on one of these, you take that fill, like the first fill I took in there at 10s, you take that fill, there's a decent chance your out is when the stock halts down. You take this fill here, it's probably not going to go down that way. But yeah, sometimes I do it. It's like, oh, I like that price. I see it. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just stupid. So you should try to avoid getting in on those candles unless there's like some kind of crazy news or it's a monster support level, like the day Sandberg left Meta,
Facebook,
and you were buying it because when you pull back on the daily chart, it was a huge level that it got to. That makes sense. But on a Revlon or a small cap, you try to avoid those at least a little bit there. I just want to quickly go back over to Micron because we know they report this afternoon, and I was sort of saying, I got away from it because when it took out that high of the day and then just made a double top, it's still actually supporting that previous high, oddly enough. So you're right here back at that 55.80, and that's sort of what I meant by, sort of pick on something else that's showing you easier signs of weakness. Like that, the top that it made was a little bit random, and yeah, you could have taken that double top. I just like the entry on Neo. It felt a little bit safer. At this point, Micron's showing some signs of relative strength, so I'm either allowing it to break back down into the channel that I liked, or it's retesting that high, or I'm not going to touch it. I still love these small caps. They're continuing to pay off there. I am in EVFM, and this is the other one that we've been sitting in. It essentially gave you the same trade on the breakout twice. It's broken out off 5, not 105, gone up to like 15, 16, 17, touched 120, and then done the same thing again. It's just done the exact same trade twice. It's still holding higher, so there's a chance if volume picks up, it could take out the high. So I'm just holding on to a piece because, frankly, it's in the money, and if we get a volume spike late, great, then we can just take advantage of that. But otherwise, it hasn't given me a reason to get off of this trade because the same level's been holding all day long.
Yeah, and I just want to, on that note about holding levels, to be honest with you guys, CCL, for some reason this doesn't want to go down here, so I don't know what's up with that. So we'll take another piece out now, as 870 is where were we short? We're short 71. If we could take a dime, like not happy necessarily taking these small trades here, but so far so good there on CCL. We'll see if it can float down. I do have another bid at 60. We'll see if that's worth it or not. But for right now, yeah, CCL. Let's just see where we go now to that downside. So hopefully it continues here and moves down. But AMD, Amazon, CCL all starting to crank. Let's look. I mean, the market's making nice moves to the downside here. So we're going to hold these into the close. Like, I don't know where this market's going. It just doesn't feel like it's going up. So we're going to do that based on that and hold out to see where we go. Meta is a long that I like. If the market does turn around here and Meta can sort of take down this 163-ish, then I think we'll go long there around 162.50 or so. But that's going to be if the market turns right now. I'm not sure it's going to. So 162.50 or so here on Meta is not a horrible long. You have some tops right there. I mean, you could get long now against that 160, but then if the market does fail and we continue to fall back in, then you have a problem there. So we'll wait to see where it goes, but 161.50 coming into play, and then I like this break. It goes back here in the pre-market, kind of these highs before we busted out and then fell back in there. So I like that. There's some bottoms here, 162.50. So let's take a break. I'm going to set the order now. If Meta does get over to that level there, then we'll take that break on the long. What's up, Henry Z? What's up? What's up, Daryl? We like Daryl there. It should at least be 860. What?
What's
CCL? Okay, so yeah, okay, I believe, yeah.
Oh, CCL.
Yeah, I believe that too, Daryl. So I believe that's still in play. I mean, that's where we started getting out the first time. We ignored it on the way down. It just really sucks. We didn't have that many shares. We talked about that. We took it in the pre-market, should have reloaded that, but as we were trading everything else, we didn't have an opportunity to do that there on CCL. So we should have got some out, and then now we have a much better position on as we approach these highs. So let's wait for 850, 855. I agree. My bid is at 860 to get out of another piece, though. So, and then hopefully we can retest that 855 bottom. So good look there. And we always like to shout out Daryl because, again, he was on our show before when we had those guest traders of the day. And I know that he's been trading CCL for years. So shout out to you, Daryl, on that one as well. But what's up, Henry Z? Thank you so much. Thank you, Mohammed. Congratulations to me, to you, sorry, as well. Hopefully you guys are in some of these positions with me. But over to you, Brendo.
In a week week of plenty of rumors surrounding FTX, guys. Seems like this latest one is also just that, a rumor. BlockFi CEO saying, I can 100% confirm we are not being sold for $25 million. So there you go.
But what is BlockFi's symbol?
It's not
Right,
public.
yeah, so, all right.
I mean, first, a bit of a nothing, but it's just kind of crazy. Like, we've been seeing this all the time with news coming out. And here's the other thing, too. Like, remember yesterday when the FTC thing, in the afternoon,
Amazon
dropped about sort of removing TikTok from the app stores.
Yep.
Well, that was the morning's news, and you still had crazy price action when they hit Bloomberg terminals late. We've been seeing that a lot lately. I think it's one thing we ought to pay attention to, at least a little bit. I just got into AMC. AMC had a good break. Remember 1380? Yes, the last couple of days. It's been trying to break this level unsuccessfully. And every time it gets up there, I take a shot at it, just kind of knowing when it goes, we're going to get a good one. But you have to be able to get out. So it did break. You go past break even, and I covered. So a couple of decent scalp trades there. But it got right back to the pre-market high, which is 1345 in the higher time frame. Kind of a bit of resistance on that level. So I did like it when it turned into support. So I allowed it to bounce off that level, and then consolidate at 50 for a little bit, and then grab the long. So I'll stop it right beneath that level, and then see if we can't get a run up there. And again, it's just one of those, I like the opportunity to be in this when it does make a shot for it. I feel like it's been grinding towards that, and the risk reward is going to be good if we ever catch it. So if I can risk like 7 cents, thinking we can get back up to that 65, 70, and then back up to 85 for a couple of legs, then maybe get a breakout, I think it's just worth it there. But a very tight stop. This market is showing signs of pulling back, right? Not breaking back out. So you pick something relatively strong, but make sure you got yourself a stop in those longs.
I mean, I did the trade of the day, and I mentioned where I thought Amazon was going. I don't know. That was when it was at 107.50. So right now, I said Amazon was going back down to 106. Obviously we got out at half there when we broke down. We had 106.80. We talked about that. But there it is right now, $1.20 now in the money for Amazon as it just targeted out our levels. So like I said, man, I don't know if we should be entering the home run contest or not. I know I heard Vladdy's backing away from it, as he should, man. I don't think any professional hitter should be in the home run contest unless they're a rookie or something like that. A little bit different, I feel, about the slam dunk contest. But
there's only one guy you want to see.
What, Judge?
O'Neal, Cruz, or Aaron Judge.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel like there's they talk about it ruining some of their mechanics on their swing and stuff like that. They get tired. They pull different muscles that they're not used to swinging. And the thing is,
I think that's actually BS. But
I feel like maybe it is, but I feel like they need to change the way they do the contest. I mean, I think Vladdy honestly hit like 70 home runs or something last year. No, like seriously, it's like they go on and on and on. It's like round one, okay, I just hit 45 bombs, yay! I went over to round two now. I got to hit 45 more. It's on and on and on. But anyways, as we go, it's unbelievable tonight. Have chicken, have shrimp, have lobster, have whatever the hell you want. Shout out to you, Leroy Jenkins. He goes, Sean must be having an unreal day. And yeah, we are having an unreal day. Only, it's unbelievable the amount of money that we've been making here today. Like, look, we're $2 in the money right now on AMD. See ya as that goes. And not only that, this is a reloaded, man. We've already hit this once already. So we're just putting these stocks into the gates of hell today over and over again because we just keep on reloading these things over and over and over again. And yeah, man, the party's not going to stop here from my side of things. So there it is, another $2 to the downside. Down goes AMD. And then down right now goes Amazon back into these levels. This might be the end of me for Amazon, but hey, if I really think this market's going to crap out here, let's just keep on holding these shorts, man, all the way down. So here goes Amazon ticking out this level, 105.50. Unreal move to the downside there. Did we get CCL at 60? No, we didn't. So, okay, CCL is going to come down. We're going to get 60 on CCL as well. So that is working in the favor for us. So, yeah, so far so good. It's been a great closing show, and all we ask for you to do, you know what? I'm checking this likes count out right now, right here.
I was about to make it.
582 likes.
That's usually where.
Disappointed. Yeah, if you guys can hit that like button, let's do that, man. And let's get going. We had tons of free memberships this week. We're really rocking and rolling here today. And we have Rob on the ones and twos. So that can't get any better than that.
You could have shown yourself there, Rob.
Yeah, we'll show them. Lucas will do it. Give a peace sign there if we have that camera view there, if it's set up. We'll go to Brendan and then we'll come back to these guys. So let's throw, we don't want to miss this news. What's up, Brendo?
Just one real quick. BOR, B-O-R-R, halted news pending right now. This is a oil and gas drilling industry company. So BORR was down huge anyways today, but halted news pending right now.
We like those. And look, I'll start off by showing you. We show you winners and losers. We try to keep it honest. There they are. The thing is, when you said Rob,
there's Rob.
Rob
Hey,
lost his
hey-o.
mind. He's like throwing the hands up. He's excited. So yeah, show him. Look, Lucas has been doing a fantastic job. If you think our setup and doing what we do is difficult, I couldn't imagine.
He's got the rock and roll, baby. He's got
I
that
couldn't
going
imagine
on.
switching this show, man. Like, what these guys do is unbelievable to make us look good. I'll quickly show you risk reward. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to hold this, average into the. No, I'm going to get in, get out, risk 7 cents on AMC, nothing more, nothing less. And I'll do that before we show Neil. And like what just happened here, I was going to be on VWAP at 55. And I canceled my order, and I'll show you kind of the reason why. Because I'll look at the NQ breaking down through support. So when you have something which has been when showing you with signs that it wants to sell, and you get a breakdown of support like that, then I'm going to hold on to those shorts. We're getting into power hour here, and if the direction is going to be down, then as far as I'm concerned, it's back to what we were saying this morning, which is if you want to play something and win to the long side, do it in a small cap. Do it in Revlon, where hopefully we can get some bids back in there, or this. Is it NESN? I always get this wrong from this morning. What's the one? NRSN, I think it was, Brendan. I don't know. Hopefully he's later at NRSN, which I'm on the bid in front of 4. Give me a break. I'm at 407. It went to 408. So I'm on the bid in front of VWAP on this. Like, this is giving you moves to the upside and relatively strong. So is Revlon. But they don't care about what's happening in the market for the most part. They'll have a better chance. Sure, they'll pull back because they have profit takers, but when they get going, it's because it has a small float and a catalyst, and there's at least a better chance for you to be able to go long. So if you really need to take longs and you don't want to play one of those reverse ETFs, then just jump over to the small cap space. There have been winners out there for you to be able to take. I haven't traded NRSN yet. I'm trying to rectify that if I can catch it in front of $4.
Entertaining. I was just going to say, like, this is what we're doing, man. Educating, entertaining, and informing. I mean, that was really what we based and what we built this show on when we first started the show. So, that's why we have our positions at the bottom. We're going to do that for the midday show as well. We're having some technical difficulties, but that will be corrected, and we got it corrected for you as well. Yep. So, I mean, that's why, talking a little bit about football. Oh, and I said to Neil, too, like, if you're starting a dynasty league where we could keep one keeper, I already have Josh Allen. So that was Neil's pick there for one starter.
Obviously.
But yeah, obviously. So we already have that. But then I was like tossed up between, and he was saying go wide receiver, start with Chase or Jefferson. And I'm saying the same, that's nothing wrong with that as well. But I was just thinking like Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris, both like so young, 22, 23 years old. Yeah, and I know, and wide receivers, although wide receivers get hurt probably just as much as running backs, it's easier to come back. Like, they can just get that surgery, torn ACL, stuff like that, come back and not be as damaged sort of as a running back. And the other thing too about running backs, now that I think about it, they lose their job so much easier. Yes. Like there's always another guy there, but wide receiver with route running and things like that, the trust that they can build up with their quarterback is a lot different. I mean, Devontae Adams and now is in with Derek Carr, but the relationship that he built with Aaron Rodgers there created multiple MVPs, and then Devontae Adams to have that monster year that he had. Now he's back with D Carr, so we'll see how that goes.
It's like investing in Google or Microsoft versus like maybe something that gives you more upside, and might have a
Derrick
good run
Henry.
the next year or two.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but it's just something a little bit safer and more secure. Because truth be told, fantasy football, and it's interesting about fantasy. Most people don't win at fantasy football because they're not actually trying to win; they're just trying to have fun. I say this to my friends all the time. Like if you try to have less fun and just care about winning, you're going to start winning because you'll start to play it like trading, like risk and reward, and it's boring as all hell. But if you actually think of it from everything as probabilities, oh my goodness, it's not that hard to beat up people in your Sunday leagues, man. Like it's just everybody else is just trying to have fun or be the cool person. Look at the pick I just made. This guy's going to blow up. Yeah, but he's also might get you 0 points. I'm just going to take the points all day long. So that's what we try to do in trading, which is just take the trades that are working out and give you the good opportunities there. And even if they lose, you try to lose small and contain your losses. Like you just got NRSN. okay, well, maybe I should have had the 4 break. Obviously, Rev was good, but this was probably a little bit better for the long. But I missed it. I'm going to take this on the way back at 4, but it's going to be a relatively tight stop. I think if you had the break the first time, you're probably giving it back to 375 at that point, because you can take a bunch out, be playing with house money, still be in it. I'm catching it on the way back in, so I'm going to go tighter stop here just because I think it's not as good. On top of that, it's also a time of day thing. We have about 45 minutes till the close, and it's already showing signs of giving up that volume. So I don't mind getting into this, but you just play that risk to reward, try to make some sense of these trades here for you. And of course, as I say that, I'm not gonna get on that or gonna pull that bid on VWAP on NEO. It's just trying to get off the schneid here, not really doing so, but I'm looking for this to bust VWAP and then hopefully hold it into 350. Now this is the month end, so I plan on not having any positions when the imbalances come out. And it's not to say that they have to come out huge. It's just one of those things. When it's a quarterly rebalance or a third Friday, I tend not to want to be in position on anything. Every now and then you roll it into the imbalances if you're in the money. I feel like here I'd rather just be reacting and taking the wins that we got.
All right. Yeah, and that's funny because, Adrian Peterson did rush for 2,000 yards after tearing his ACL.
Yeah,
that guy's a freak.
Yeah, he's not a normal
So
human being.
and that's the other thing about drafting a running back that has that kind of longevity. I mean, if Najee Harris or Jonathan Taylor become that, that's so hard to do, then you do have maybe 10 years of RB1, but that's tough to do, man. Okay, I guess it's Brendan again?
Just quickly, Bed Bath & Beyond just popping up here on volume, guys. Not seeing anything on it, but it's the afternoon, so why not? So BBBY just broke $5 again there on volume.
So there's talk about what do we think is going to happen tomorrow because it's the beginning of a new month, beginning of the second half. Much more of the same. Nothing's going to change. The calendar date don't mean nothing, I don't think, for any of this, man. I mean, you're going to have earnings tonight. It's just Micron, but, that's going to lead the way for some of these names. If they're horrible, I shouldn't say that they're going to lead the market to the downside. I mean, these tech names have already been beat up pretty good. Until we see earnings, and my father asked me too, he's like, when are we deploying more of this capital? And I'm just like, honestly,
Q3.
That's basically what I said. I was like, we got to wait to see earnings come out. Yeah. It's just like what I'm telling all of you guys. I feel like, the economy and this and that, I don't know if we've seen peak inflation or not, but let's just see what that next reading is. It could tick down a little bit, then everyone will be calling for the top in that. But then do we get earnings coming out? Like, do the earnings multiple that some of these companies currently have, does it fit with the actual earnings that they report out? And it's like, if that's not the case, then you are going to get a re-weighting back down to the downside, let alone any possible, I don't know if it's a housing crisis. I don't want to talk about it like it was 2007, 8 again, but some people are going to get kicked out of their house here because these mortgages aren't getting any cheaper by the day. They're getting a hell of a lot more expensive. So, what the funny thing was, man, my banker, he's not even my banker. He's a random dude that called me. I don't even think I have a banker anymore anyways, from my bank. And I didn't answer because I was on the show. And then he sends me an email. He's like, I just want to talk about your mortgage renewal and this and that. And I'm just like, what more? I don't have no mortgage renewal coming due. He's like, it's due in like 2 or 3 years or something like that. I was like, come on, bro.
In the last week,
you want me to renew at these rates?
And we're not even in the same bank. I got the same call in last week.
Yeah, I was like, are you insane?
I got the same call. And this is interesting. I'm not going to name names or anything like that, but I was at a school event for my daughter and just talking to other parents there. And obviously, everyone always asks you what's going on with the market, but the actual main conversation was they were all worried about the housing market, and that's. I'm just like, when you talk to people, there's a lot of people that's their fear and I don't think you should ever put yourself, and not everybody can do this. Put yourself in a position where the equity in your house is like where you feel your wealth is, so that if you lose it, it's like, that's it. No, it's a place where you dwell in, and if it's that first, then anything else can be a little bit gravy. But not everybody is in that space, and affordabilities are at ridiculous levels. I'm going to get off topic here. Sorry, guys. People are asking about symbols. I want to go over Shopify because we got away from shorting this thing since the split today by not taking any executions. Shop is super weak, man. And if you remember on Shopify, it had that $300 level The monster level on 300 was on the daily chart. Well, I think we might see that tomorrow. Maybe not today, but Shop taking out low of the day just a few minutes ago on the way down to 30, which of course, it's easy this time because it's 10 to 1, so you can just say it was 300 support. In this case, it's going to be $30. Shop is getting there. And someone was asking about Apple a little bit earlier, if we can go over Apple. And there's not much to go over. Like the market, it made a double top, and this is the exact same as my S&P chart. So really not much to look at except for it's dragging us down. And you've broken every single support that we had on the way back to the upside. All that's left is the minor shelf. And I say minor shelf because it was like a tiny tick on my 3-minute where it tried to bounce at 945. That's where we're sitting right now. So maybe you get some consolidation here. But I'm holding on to my shorts that aren't these small caps. And even those, I'm going to have to start thinking about getting out of. Oh, goodness, Revlon. Yeah, I didn't get, I didn't get filled on Revlon. So I need to get maybe I don't want to get too aggressive here. I'm still sitting in front of 5. That's not aggressive enough.
I have breaking news.
I'm going to go in front of 510 here maybe.
I have breaking news, and shout out to the chat because I just looked up on my phone. The self-proclaimed king is LeBron James, right? But someone who thinks they're also a king in the NBA, Mr. Kevin Durant, he can't win with Oklahoma City, right? So he leaves them and goes to Golden State before he finally wins when he's playing with all those guys, has now requested a trade. And he is choosing either the Suns or the Heat. Honestly, the NBA, I'm getting really close to NEPA for this league anymore, man. I mean, it's so run by the players, and good for them. I mean, they get to choose. Look, I mean, I wish,
if you have the leverage, use it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not hating on him. I'm just I just don't like when it's I'm choosing between these teams. It's fine, and I know that's what happens in the NBA.
Choose the Raptors somebody.
And it's fine. Well, I mean, we got Kawhi, which was great. I mean, he brought us the championship, and it's a league where you can't win unless you get these guys. But come on, man. Do I need to see more tweets and more this and that? Kevin Durant, man, you're so immature. This guy has his own burner accounts as well. It's crazy. But anyways, the point is I just feel now if Miami or Phoenix win, it's fine. But Durant's gonna be yeah, look at it. I don't know.
And you know what'll suck is
I kind of like teams building.
It'll take away from the fact that
they're already great.
I love how the Suns have built their team right now.
That's what I'm saying.
I love Ayton. My favorite team is Denver because
he's gonna go to Phoenix because they're gonna do a sign and trade with Ayton.
Yeah, it'll something like that.
That's probably
which sucks. But I like Denver because I feel like they got when the Canadian kid Murray's been out, and then they got Porter. Jokic is an unbelievable piece.
Did you hear what San
built
Antonio
a great team.
did?
They traded Dejounte Murray. I got him
for
in my
3
fantasy
first-round picks?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. And don't get me started. That's why I like college basketball so much.
Danilo Gallinari?
Gallinari was in the deal.
I mean, look, I'm Italian. I like Danilo Gallinari, but
no, you don't.
Come on. Oh, he was good with the Knicks, and who was it with earlier? He was the Knicks. I think it was his best years.
It was okay.
I think.
I shouldn't say that.
He should be involved. He was just involved.
He's in the league, man.
He's just involved in the trade for salary for the cap reasons. So it's not they might even just waive that guy. But Dejounte Murray there going through on San Antonio. He's their best player. Anyways,
I hate tanking.
Him and Trae Young should be real nice. Okay.
You can't tank in college.
Enough of this.
Enough of it.
I mean, I haven't had enough, and I don't think our viewers have either. But we can go back to the market, but I'm just going to say bang on that one because I'm just watching these trades just continue to fly down here as the market goes WTF, and we hit this button as well as it's just going to the downside because right now the market should be breaking. And there you go. So shout out to Playmaker. I'm not even looking at the chat. I know he's probably already on there about the Miami Heat. I do like Jimmy Butler. So Tyler Hero, too, can shoot the lights out. That's for sure. But okay, CCL. So we get that 60 print. It only goes as low as where we got out last time. I'm holding out for you, Daryl. Hopefully we can get down to 850 on that name. All good if we can do that. That would be pretty sweet for sure. So we'll hold out on that coming through for us there for CCL. And then honestly, Amazon just bounced off VWAP. We'll probably, if it takes this 106.12, we're out on that one. And then AMD, I'm not getting out. AMD's in the money, $2. I don't have any reason to get out of this one. I'm not even going to get out if it breaks there. But Amazon, we know it can retest. It did that. It was very strong off that. I know the same thing can be said for AMD. I just feel like more downside pressure comes for that name. So we'll watch out for that. But Amazon right there at that 50 period. I love one at 50 period. And this is what I think differs me from other traders. And just I've done the work. Other traders do that too. But when the 50 period lines up with levels that I'm looking at, those are outs for me. So I'm going to do that 106.10 out for Amazon. I'm going to put the order in right now.
And just noticing Coinbase here, because the market is still, as far as when I called this up and I had to do a double take to look over at the ES and the NASDAQ just to make sure we were still headed down. I'm like, okay, well, NEO's still working to the short side, but coin just bounced a buck off VWAP. So some relative strength, oddly enough, coming out of Coinbase, which has been a dog all day. I did mention, I kind of missed a trade this morning. And when these vacuums happen in the open, sometimes you're able to catch it, some days you're not. The other day on Amazon, I caught a bottom wick by like 2 or 3 cents. And it was like, you just get it and it looks gorgeous on the chart. Today I missed one by 3 cents, and it's going to happen to you. But it means, if that ever happens, don't sit there and cry about it. Understand that you had the level right. It's not easy execution. I know it's stupid to put an order at 75 or even when you're trying to do that. You get in front of a level like that because it's too obvious. If it does a hard turn, it's going to do it sometimes at an even number. 50, 75, even, you shouldn't put the prices there. But if we get back to VWAP and the market looks strong, I might take a shot at Coinbase. If you show me relative strength, there can be a trade to be had. That's all I care about. Is there a trade that we can try to put on there? So I'm going to get over to that one. I did finally. It looks like one of these finally did come out there, and that's going to be EVFM. I've had a stop all day at 105 and held on. Every time I'd hold on to a tiny little piece just in case it took out the high, always maintaining the 105 stop. So always have your stops in. That's just an obvious level here, so we got out of it. Going to hang on to NRSN. I'm risking about 10, 12 cents on that bad boy, and we'll see what can happen. Revlon, I go from Revlon to NRSN, and so I complain about Revlon to go to NRSN. NRSN's about to stop out, and Revlon's still holding up pretty nicely. So sometimes you sort of stick with the one that's going. Although I didn't get the fill that I would have wanted over here on Revlon. I'm just down to NEO. Even the small caps are starting to give it up. And speaking of that, AMC not giving it up. So I put the tight stop on, and it looks like it wants to go. I don't want to get tricked into this one. I looked over at Coinbase, and it just looks like a stronger stock to me at this point. So I'd rather be involved there. As far as I'm concerned, this looks like a short into the close. So I want to be very particular about any longs. It better look really, really strong. Like Pfizer was something we were talking about along those lines. That still feels like it's holding up pretty well. It's holding that breakout price, which is kind of what I wanted to see, which is at 52.30. I wanted to see it tested, put a wick bottom. Now you're holding above, so you kind of throw a stop at 52.20, and if you can get 30s, your risk to reward isn't that bad.
I always go back to remembering, because I was just like, okay, we're getting close to the market on close and balances. But then I always remembered that I never have success on the market on close and balances. So like if I'm short, like I am now, that they're going to come out on a buy side. So with that being noted, I am debating this AMD. I know I said I didn't want it and I wanted to get out, but right now we are close to getting out and taking that $1.20 right now on Amazon. It did dip all the way down to 105.50. We should have respected that level, but we were thinking that the market really was coming back in. But look at that right there. It came back. We already took one out there on that consolidation back and forth. We took another out down there at 103. But yeah, Amazon right now just printed off that 105.50 level. So that, could have been an out. Unfortunately, now I'm going to cost myself 50 cents. That's okay. Ultimately, it's okay. Like we were talking about before, we've hit it out of the park today. We don't even have any bad trades, to be honest. It's not even like we have like some trades that were like, oh man, I wish I didn't take that. Like I do wish I took this trade on Meta. This was the only red mark today, and we took 25 cents on 25%, and then we lost 25 cents on 75% there, and we're happy to get out because honestly, this tank was huge for us. We crushed the SPY. We crushed everything else, but honestly, it's like there. Look at my 159.91. The long there is 160.40. So I guess we lost 50 cents there, 25 cents back, but it dipped all the way down to 158.50. So I still think it was a good out. It's just a matter of, we gave it the shot. I know Neil had that same idea there on Facebook, and I know that we both wish we still had it. So up to 165, it just came in, and I just missed it again when we were talking. It went down to that exact level that I already bought once.
Almost.
So, no, literally, 160.40. Like, it went down right into that same
I
level.
was going in front of the quarters, so I was like 31, 32.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, right? I mean, it's just like, it's up $1 from that other level there. So, there we go, out of Amazon. Yeah, man, we're happy with that one. We'll go Mamma Mia on there. Enjoy some pies with your family. It's going to be a great long weekend. Thank you for joining us one more time here today. But there it is, man, Amazon, the kiss of death on that stock right there, and we give it to that Amazon today. Definitely clean that one up. Now all of a sudden when I get 3 or 4 packages a day, at least we're paying for them here on the show.
Exactly, and I'm going to start, covering this stupid Mullen trade. And not stupid, it's actually ended up being a winner because it's free money. If it doesn't break the low, you can't lose on the trade when there's that much size there, especially when it's SSR. It just doesn't move. Coinbase, I kind of thought this would slow down and pull back. Hasn't really, so I'm going to be patient with it. I'm not going to chase this move to the upside. Not when I think overall this still feels like a relatively weak market. I'm still holding on to NEO. I want to see what happens at that 2180 level. So if we get a curl there, I'll try to pop back on the bid. I think it'll make sense to get out at VWAP this time, as we are running out of time on this day, Brendo.
Just saw a note on Tesla, guys. Not really doing anything, but interesting idea from Goldman here on Tesla, talking about an opportunity of between 1 and 3 billion if they only would just open up their supercharger network to, I guess, all EVs. There was this note as well down here. Can we show that, Rob, if you can? Thank you. This note down here, they're expected to end a nearly 2-year-long run on record quarterly deliveries this quarter because of shutdowns in Shanghai. But 1 to 3 billion possible, according to Goldman, if they open up this supercharger network.
That's not insignificant. And I saw someone on the channel was interesting. They said, I'm not sure why we bounced at that level. I was sort of thinking the same thing on the futures, right? Like, but here's the thing. I know you're always looking for significance where things, tops and bottoms, and yes, you want to trade off of that, but that doesn't mean that every single turn will be somewhere that's significant. Every now and then, you'll just turn to a level that doesn't make any sense. Like I was looking at the Micron actual high compared to why I like to trade. I'm like, I don't get why it turned there. So I didn't trade the level. It's that simple. I don't know why we just turned, particularly we did in the market. Maybe there was some kind of weak support there in the pre. I don't know. Like, whatever, but it doesn't always have to make sense. That's one thing you got to be concerned with. And Tesla, it didn't make sense to me, and I got away from it on the long. I took one long in front of the 60 level, and I tried scalping it, and I didn't take the win when it was there, the 1-to-1 win. And every time you don't do that, when you're doing a scalp trade, you end up paying the price for it because then it breaks your stop, and you're just trying to do a scalp. But this has been holding. Look at this, makes sense where it got a top. 685, that area, and you give it $1 or $2. That has been a level on Tesla for quite some time here. So, when you're looking at rallies, maybe we'll see this tomorrow when we get a chance to trade off of it. When you see that level come in, it's significant in both directions. You clear above it, get above 90, you're going to be able to have some longs above there where it'll run away from that price. But when it's just an established level that you've seen work, that's a little bit easier to trade around. So just going back to NEO, I wanted to see it turn at 2180. Now it has. I'm going to adjust my stop there. I don't need it all the way at the high of the day. Not enough time for that to make any sense. So I will now pop back on the bid in front of VWAP here just to make sure that I can take some profit. Maybe we should be on the other side of 2160 and then just throw a trailing stop above 80. And that'll be the easy thing to do. It looks like Revlon. Tomorrow I'm going to trade Revlon almost 100%. As long as it closes above 5, and we were trading above 5 tomorrow, or even 475, I'm going to like it. It actually ended up being stronger than I anticipated. I was complaining about it and then thought that NRSN was going to be better. I moved over to NRSN. That was a mistake because after I got out of Revlon, it then held the same consolidation area and is giving you another winning trade. So stay on the stock that is working for you. Even if you sit there like, yeah, the grass is always greener somewhere else. That's an easy thing to happen. You see a big spike, a better move, you go chase that move instead of the stock that was making sense for you. And I've been trading Revlon off that level all day long, and the minute I stop doing it, I miss an opportunity. So live, there's some trading advice. It's kind of low-hanging fruit and obvious, but obvious advice is usually the best advice.
Yeah, it's probably true.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we should have stayed away and took some advice on this one as well. But we're going to reload this trade here on AMD. So now you can see my price looks a little different here as we were short all the way up here, right? So now we're going to get it right at that view up. And I'm just going to give it to this level here, 77.30. If we break 77.30, obviously, you guys know I'm just putting this on. Again, this is not the same conviction. Like when you look at what I'm doing here against these levels, and we talked about these pops, we're just getting another pop here. But you could see this is right in the middle, right? It's not like VWAP's been that good. I mean, it's been good on a bouncing play there. They're creating down. But right now we're going to bump into VWAP again and see if that can do something. So AMD right now, it's in the middle here. And it's just like normally when the futures are doing this, this is not something where I like to be short when we're going above the 50 period here, and it's looked like this, where you have two red candles in the last 20. So that's, not great, but we are heading into the imbalances here. The NASDAQ still is down 1, and here we go, man. AMD, no more reloads. We have enough shares now. It's not big. It's like 30% or so of the positions that I would have had up here when this was going. So we'll see if it can go down. Our average price now, it's not even a hit when we get out, but these average prices in will be, that's a 98, and then that is rate av view up there at 13 or 14. So and they're the same amount of shares. So 98, 13 or 14. Let's call it about a 7 or so. So we're basically flat on these reloads right now. It sucks because it averages our prices, and then when I get out, it changes the price again. So our average price on this reload is about 77.07. So let's see where we go to the downside. I am trying to bid. Now that we got that reload, I think we could bid in the 80s. So let me put something in here for us in the 80s now on this name. I was waiting in the 60s, but I didn't know if we were going to get that. That was off this trade. I was hoping for a short at 95 there into the 60s would be nice down there. But if we can get 50 period again into this consolidation, which is 85 or so, we should take that. But I don't know if we're going to get it. The market seems pretty strong now, breaking out. I don't know if we get to green or not, and I haven't seen any update on that. Oh, okay, 3 minutes ago, Brennan gave it to us.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So maybe I should take that back. Maybe it is on my favor today. It is 1 billion, 1.3 billion.
This story before.
Sorry, to the sell side. 1.3 billion to the sell side.
What's hilarious? But like the second we got that, I got trailed out of NEO, the short on NEO. However, and I want to give a big shout out to the 1 or 2 people in the chat that reminded us that Shopify is a stock. I remembered it was a stock. I just didn't remember to trade it today, or even take a deep enough look at it. I took one look, wrote down 33, was like, I kind of like that level. I don't love it, and then just didn't even bother with it. And it would have probably, I don't know, maybe it would have been a winner there. I doubt it. I probably would have stopped out in the morning. But it is now at a previous, support to resistance idea. As the market is trying to curl back up, I'm looking at that. The ES, by the way, is back at 3,800.
Yes.
I should have led with that. The ES 3800 was a bit of a wall this morning. So if it's a wall right now, I want to find a stock instead of level that I like for the short side that I think is relatively weak. And Shopify down 5% below VWAP, trying to bounce. It was just at the low of the day when the market was making those rallies. I mean, come on. So I like that one for the short. I just got into it here on that little bit of a curl, but that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. And yeah, you could try shorting the futures, but I just figure it's lower hanging fruit if you can find a stock which is relatively weak, and then if the futures plunge, well, this is going to go as well.
Okay, man, I just said that because, first of all, look at this Amazon out that we had. Like, let's go bang on that one for this Amazon out. Like, we got out at 106, man, when it broke. It just ripped to 107 straight, saving ourselves some cash-a-rooney on that one. And then, so that was a good trade for us on Amazon, obviously out. And then I was just looking back at AMD. AMD just went to 90 there. So we could have scalped out 20 cents. Remember, our average was 17 cents. Our average price was 77.07 on the reload. So we still have that in. I'm still pretty happy with it. But, it just did bounce off that. So I think that we could probably, let's put it, it might be too late. I mean, that bounce might have been it right there. It tested, retested, now wants to go higher. So that sucks. Okay, let's put a bid there. I mean, I just have the bid now at that 76.91 area, exactly 76.91. So, but I'm thinking that this is there it goes. We're going to go upside now. So watch out below. No, watch out above here on these plays. This is why, no matter how you're thinking about the market, remember I said, like, you always got to have outs? And I mean, like this Amazon, I better make sure I don't have any outs to the high side. No, I don't. Okay. I'm not going to reload this. Completely different story heading in here with only 10 minutes left. But, that's why you have outs. Like, it came back in. We definitely should have took that out. But again, hindsight, so whatever, let's move on. But then when it took the 50 period and took these key levels that we talked about right there, 106.17 or 106 flat, I guess, that was a key out for us. So now we saved ourselves a bunch of money, man, on the back to the upside there. Okay, AMD, I think CCL, again, another good out as well, as that came back in billion. We're still waiting for lower on that one. We'll see if that can come in. But right now, the only real position that I have on the reload is AMD. It just got back down to 77 again. Let's see if this one can move here. You know we're bidding in the 90s, low 90s. So if that does come out, we'll watch that. But for right now, man, Mr. Wickens has said 1.3 billion to sell on the market on close.
Which is interesting because we're bouncing away from it. It's like, you said it before, like we just went back to 3,800 on the ES, and those imbalances, yeah, sure, it might say sell side, but if it's a surprise, sometimes it actually just crushes you. Now, with the futures, you don't care that it necessarily breaks a level by a point or two.
Right.
You want to see how it trades above it. So we're above 3,800. I want to see if we can actually hold there for any length of time. We've got 338, so we got 12 minutes till said imbalances come out. And that's the thing about finding something relatively weak, is I have some cover. And what I'll do, the only change I'll make is I'm now willing to bid this for 20 cents. On Shopify, whereas I wasn't before. I was looking for at least 30 to 40 to the downside for the first leg out, but now I will take a more shallow win. But that's only because we just tested above that level on the ES and showed some signs of doing a consolidation, then a break back to the high. So I'm going to try scalping some of this out. I'm almost out of Mullen, and I might just say forget this and get it all out at 4. So I think I got like 7s at the best on that trade, or maybe 6s, but that's not going anywhere. So we'll concentrate on Shopify, maybe have a look at the futures as well. We're running out of time for things like Pfizer dipping back in and giving the entry that we wanted off of that previous high. Same thing that goes over with what was it, Coinbase. Going to stay away from that. I'd rather just short in Shopify. The shorts feel better.
Yeah, that's a yeah or wow there. Or how about this one?
Oh my God.
There it is, man. Little Valley Girl dancing right here. Look at AMD, man. Like a glove. We hit that one again for you, man. There's another short. We just got out at 76.91 there as promised. So, yeah, so far so good, man. Wow, what a great reload that was. Maybe I should almost NFT this chart, I feel like, today, how we've been doing this. Another bump up and another take on the downside. Now we just need 76.50 to come through here on AMD. And again, to wrap up what's going to be an absolutely rocket ship of a day here. So far, so good, man. AMD just cranking lower. My bid is now in the 60s. Let's see where we go from here. That 1.3 billion sell seems like it's going to mean something here. So nice trading to the upside in this market, but then the fail there, like you mentioned there, at that 3,800 as we climb back there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, just never, if you're trading the futures, just never have even dollar stops. Like, if you were short off the 3,800 level there, you were right. Like, it went like 8 points down there, but it only ticked up 2 points above and spent all of, I don't know, it might have been a minute, it might have been like 30 seconds. It's hard to tell when you're, live doing this, like, unless you're sitting there staring at it. But again, like, you can't. It's not like a stock at $100 or, like when we're trading Tesla $750 or $1,000. It's just not like that at all. So you got the wick top. I still stuck to my guns, though. I took that quick leg out there on Coinbase, on Shopify, because overall, like, the market did initially pop when we got that imbalance number to the downside. And like you said, Sean, sometimes it just doesn't always work out. When it feels like it's going to be in your direction. But I feel like holding the short, if you got it, and knowing the imbalances could come to the sell side, at least they're indicated they might, is going to be the way to go here. So I'm no longer buying any dips. The long ideas that I think we're going to be there, I'm throwing those out the window. We're too late in the day, I think, for them to be effective in what could be in the face of a sell imbalance here. 1.3 billion. We'll check them out and get them to you live. If you have any interesting names that you want to be watching, it is the end of the month, so we could see some fireworks.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, if there is anything there that you want to look at there. Neil's scalping out Shopify. We're not really scalping to per se like that amount. We're going to wait to see here. I think we can hold on just like we did there on AMD. So let's wait to see if we do get that 60 price coming through here. I mean, the market is coming down. Oh man, this has been such. I mean, these markets, man, are just collapsing right now to the downside. I mean, there goes AMD again. I mean, we could just do it. Let's just drop some grenades here because, yeah, this market, unfortunately, for us longs. I mean, my long-term account is bleeding, but we're making up for it here on the day. So hopefully this market could continue to crank lower. I mean, I'm bidding 65 right now. I mean, maybe, you know what? Because I always get, what's the difference between 65 and 71? 6 cents, right? But let's just... Bang! bang right there as AMD goes to the downside. And we just reloaded this for you. So giving you trades after trades after trades. I hope you enjoy the excitement, man. But today has just been one of those days. And yeah, well, fuego, we're on fire here as we just continue to go down, man. Thank you so much, Jordan. Means a lot, man. Yeah, I'm hitting all these animations. They're on my board. And honestly, it's just like trying to entertain, trying to give you guys the good here. I mean, we're hosting the show, doing this, talking sports, putting on these trades for you, which has been unbelievable. So hopefully you guys enjoy and hopefully you're making some money with us here.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw someone asking about RCL. And obviously, the CCL chart's just been more interesting for us here. And I don't know. It said it may reject 35. I don't know what's going on in RCL at 35, but you've got a good level there. For whatever reason, let's look at the wall it's been. It had one breakout and it's been a huge rejection. So you're looking for shorts. I think you found a good one. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of looking at this myself, and I got shop right now. But I mean, if you're going to be able to short, and thank you, by the way, if I lose on the trade, it's not about that. It's about the fact that you had a wall at this 35 level, and the market is looking like we want to head to the downside. Bounces soon, so this might be a quick trade, but I like that 35 area to be sure. I'm going to hang on to Shopify. Looks like it is headed down toward 31 even, so a decent chance we could see the low of the day. We're going to try and hold out for that. The futures would have been good too, man, if you just 3,800 was a pretty good level. That's about 15 points in the money. Sometimes you just go right over to the index, and that's the best way to play.
Yeah, so we also do have right now, with only 6 minutes now before those imbalances, not much really to watch, man. I mean, I'll continue to watch this AMD as it's the only position we have on. We have CCL on as well. Not a heavy position on that one, so we'll wait to see where that one wants to print out for us. But right now, yeah, some nice little downside moves going on here in the market. So hopefully you're able to enjoy the show today and take some of these wins with us. And if you can, hit the like button, man. I mean, that's all we're asking for from you guys every single day. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and if you can, share it, because we're trying to get this out to as many people as we possibly can. And if you guys are enjoying the show like we are, having a great time hosting it, then that would be fantastic if you're able to do that. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, and support. If you want to become a member, that would be fantastic as well. So if you could do that, that's great. But let's just keep on going, man. I mean, so far so good here today. It's been a good day for us. We're super pleased with the way everything's moving around here. So let's just keep it going for you. You know, so far so good, right? So market's moving around.
Is this SSR?
Sorry, which name?
Oh,
Coinbase?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. So no, RCL's short sell restricted. I'm like, why can't I hit the bid? And I'm sitting there and it says on my thing, SSR, Y. Y means yes, it's short sell restricted. So I'm going to need an uptick to get into this position. I was just kind of wondering what was going on there, and I don't want to get all those fills. Because what will happen is, if it's SSR, short sell restricted means you cannot short by removing liquidity from the bid. You actually have to wait for a tick up. So you have to sit on the offer. But if you try to hit the bid, it reprices you to the offer. And if you try to hit 2 cents lower, right, it reprices you to the offer. And all those orders are live. So what will happen is, if this uptick goes through a couple of cents, you can get them all at once. Anyways, that's just it's just me being a fool. Like, I knew CCL was crushed yesterday. I should know the entire space is short sell restricted. But yeah, 35 stop here. Why not? I'm gonna try to hold some shorts into this. It's just this because of 35. And shout out to you guys in the chat for mentioning it. Good level, weak sector, and then Shopify as well. But I'll have trailing stops. There's no way going into imbalances on any trade, regardless of direction, regardless of how strong or weak it is, I'm always going to have a stop in place just to make sure you don't get run over. Because if we come out and it's like, oh yeah, 1.3 million indicated to sell, and all of a sudden like you get a buy imbalance in Shopify because whatever, why would I sit there and turn all of this into a losing trade? No, I'll just throw my stop at break even. Maybe I would have given it to 60, 65 earlier, but now I'm just going to throw the stop at break even. That way we can't turn it into a loser. We have 3 minutes until the imbalances come out, and we'll see what happens. But I'm just going to sit in these, have my stops, and if it comes sell, I can hold to the low.
Yep, I like that. I like all of that, actually. So we're just going to keep doing that, man. I mean, AMD, I just took another piece out. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do that on AMD, but these shorts right here, all good. And then AMD, as it was approaching, you see the 50 period now also being breached there. So something to be said there about that, getting out. Now we only have a small piece left on AMD. Although it's 30 cents in the money, it was really this. We wanted to reload it to give you guys some action and just to see what we were talking about or what I was talking about on some of these moves to the downside. So there it is, man. Amazon is still probably a little high. Nah, not really. It came back in there to VWAP. But this is what we're talking about with the market on close. So if you're joining us for the first time, thank you and come back tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be another great bang show for us as we go because we have tomorrow, we have, more. Not rebalance. It's not like a rebalance official, but it's
the
a start.
first of the month.
Yeah, exactly. It's the first of the month, the first of the new half. So there will be some new positions being put on as people try
I should
to.
have sang that.
Yeah, it's the first of the month. Yeah, wake up, wake up, wake up. Shout out to Bone Thugs
Cash
there.
your check and move on.
Yeah, exactly.
And come trade. That's what you do.
Yeah, come trade. Cash those checks from trading. But okay, this is going to update. It's not there yet, but this is what we're talking about. You're going to see buys and sells and everything like that on this locator. They're going to come through. We'll highlight the ones that we consider the best, and we'll move on from there on that. So that's what we're doing right now on the futures and on the imbalances. So I got out there. I just don't want to take the risk that maybe something happens here into the close. So that's what it was. We got out of some AMD as there it is right there. And then our CCL, honestly, this is such a small trade for me, but we out. And now we were holding out one last piece for 850. That may not be coming in at all. The NASDAQ down 1%, AMD 52-week lows today, man. A lot of these sectors crushed. You know what we haven't done? We didn't look back in on banks yet today. I just can't wait for bank earnings. I feel like JP Morgan 112. It was a little bit
I didn't look at we looked at it once, and then we kind of went away
down
from
to
it.
111 there today.
I feel like the bounce was not as good in some of the banks, and obviously, look, we're coming back to the downside here. But like I said, as far as I would be paying more attention to the stocks that I'm in, but it is binary, man. It is trailing stop at the highs in case he's come out poorly to the buy side, and then we're just going to sit and wait for the lows of the day and try to let these ride. But that's what it's all about. I'm going to have the imbalance locator up here, but the bank's relatively weak, man. And once we get into the thralls of things, if you are interested, like we keep saying, if you're like, oh, what's the imbalance on X? It's not that hard for us to get it to you guys. We don't mind sharing. It's just an easy feed. You can see it on my screen here. But the market just made another rejection. I got to quickly go over to the ES here because it came right back up. See that wick here on the 60-minute? We just wicked back up to 3,800, and that's. It'll look like one candle there, but if you look at my 15-minute, we just went right to 3,800 again and rejected. So that is a bit of a level, obviously. So twice you could have traded off that level on the ES. 3,800 just given the gold.
Get ready. Here we go. So let's have a look at some of these stocks as they come out. Watch out for the NASDAQ. Now down 1.28. So we'll see where it goes here. And here it comes. Which way are we going? It looks like we're cranking up. I don't know, not nowhere right now. It doesn't look like it wants to move at all. XOM there, though. Hello, oil. A nice little move there for XOM. Let's see where this goes now. Look at the 1-minute chart. Where are we? Actually, it's not really moving that much. Pinterest is a sell. Amazon is a sell. So those ones go to the downside. WFC, we just talked about some banks. I don't really see anything else that's too worthy there, but millions of shares here. So good call on that. You had 1.3 billion to the sell side. NEPA looks like we're going to go up now. Not much, but we are going back up there as XOM starts to rip some faces off. Probably, yeah. There it is. Look, 85.30 up to 85.70 and still going. So there you go, guys. That's the value of the imbalances right there live. Like you see it, and look at that move up there right there. It's not huge, but it starts at 35 and goes up to 63. So for us day traders, that ain't a bad move there, man. You got to take that. But AMD not really doing anything. AMD now coming back down. So I guess it's kind of not worrying about that imbalance. But there we go, AMD. So for once, it didn't actually go drastically against us. And in fact, you're starting to move down again. So if we can get some AMD love for the close, we're going to hold on to this one and then call it a day, man. CCL, same kind of business here for us. But all good. Wow. What a great day today.
You can't really complain about it. And by the way, you said Amazon was a sell. Amazon coming down with the market, though. So not a huge move, but definitely coming to the downside there. I did cover both positions. RCL basically flat. I think I might have got 86s, 85 and 86 out. And here's sort of the downside about throwing like tight stops and just wanting to cover. I end up, when the balances come out there, I do end up getting out of shop if I'm like, oh crap, we didn't really move down. So I get out and then look at that. You make that call that we weren't flushing And it looked pretty, it didn't look like a huge sell when I glanced at it. And that was probably the wrong decision to get out of Shopify there. And now it is looking like it's going to test those lows of the day. So the market now is starting to come off. Sometimes you get delayed reaction.
Yes.
I think that's all that ended up happening there. But it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about it. A winner is a winner.
Yeah. Nothing to complain about at all today, man. I mean, today was a great day. So if we're going to be complaining about anything, it was just that maybe we didn't make enough money. But you know, that's you got to sort of stay humble with this market because you know, just like we picked the bottoms and we called the tops and the bottoms today, you could just flip that around tomorrow and it could be the complete opposite, right? So you got to watch out. Right now, let's go bang the one last one there for the day because look at AMD. I mean, I know the futures now are cranking, but we just talked about reloading this short there at VWAP, and if you did that, you're now in the money another 80 cents. So yeah, man, today's a good day. Lots of trades happening on the floor for myself as well. So big time trading today. Thank you for watching, and we're just about to wrap this up. Tomorrow is Friday, and that's going to be a very interesting day, like we just said there, because of all this rhetoric that we keep talking about, beginning of the new half. The futures right now heading southbound.
Yeah, remember we were talking about 3,800?
What did that number come out? 900 sell, sorry.
Look at that. I mean, look at what just happened on the futures when you actually got to that level. I mean, it's ridiculous. We came right back up to that 3,800 top, wick top, and then just absolutely crushed. This is the value of looking at key levels. What a huge rejection we just saw. Huge.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just kind of amazed by what's happening right now. AMD is now $1.
I can't believe that flush.
$1 in the money, so we'll see where it goes.
I was sitting in two shorts and basically didn't hold on to anything, and it's like look at the market.
Oh, big time flush. There goes 76.30, still moving down. 76.20 right there, coming into play. So that's another level maybe that you can look at. 76.20, 75.80. Yeah, let's just go, man. Let's check back in on ExxonMobil because that was the big one there. Still a buy. But it has. Yeah, you're right about this market, man. ExxonMobil just turns around right there. So a bump up there with the imbalance and then a turnaround for XOM. So Pinterest, I think, is probably a forever sell. Pinterest is $18. I remember when PayPal was like, yeah, we have interest of you at 60. That seemed a little bit fishy to me, but hey, good for anybody that shorted maybe Pinterest up there. And there's Amazon. As Neil mentioned, though, the market has come back in. So Amazon on that big, let's call this up one more time there, on that big sell imbalance has come in one more time. So once again, man, like we could have NFT'd this as well. If we would have had that short it doesn't look good there. We would have had that short on Amazon, then that would have been good because right back in there, the same thing. So short early, short again, out, and we could have shorted right there. But hey, we didn't know that this was coming a huge sell. But the market right now, that sucks, man. I hate when the market pretty much tries to go and then gives it right back at the close. This is not good for tomorrow's Free Fall Friday from Pratt.
It doesn't look good at all. 355 usually you get like updates on the imbalances. XOM is still 3 million shares to buy, holding at like 3.4. I had an order set to like look to see if it stayed and hit enter. I didn't hit enter. It was at 20s, and then now it's at 50s. 40s now. So big bounce there. And that's what happened. Like at 55 when the updates came, XOM actually even bigger, 3.7 million to buy. And this is in the face of a market just absolutely selling off. So, I mean, oil sometimes can be counter to the market. But in this case, the imbalance on XOM giving you some trades because it's held a support level because the market tanked and it was a massive buy imbalance, one of the only ones out there. So sometimes you just trade that fade, which is going the opposite direction of either the market or the imbalance move. In this case, XOM is going to give it to you. I wouldn't short the top, though, not when it's still a big buy imbalance.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find an animation maybe that we haven't hit yet, so let's just do the floss. I mean, check out this AMD chart. Like I said, man, if anyone knows how to do NFTs. But look at this. I mean, there it is. We just got out at $76 right there. So, I mean, we just scalped that. I don't know. If there was more than 4 minutes left, I probably would hold this. But there it is. Nice trade to the downside. I hope you guys had that for us as well. And this is what AMD looks like today. Bump up short, bump up short, bump up short, bump. There it is. Bump. Thank you. So, I mean, good day today. Thanks for everything. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us everywhere. But let's go over to Brendan, and he'll follow us to the money.
I just saw this one pop up, guys, on Volume Alert, conveniently ahead of its report. So Micron just starting to bounce here off 55. Set to report aftermarket tonight. Nothing else to mention on the earnings front.
Yeah, it's the only one out there. I mean, the market tanked, so. And the
Yeah,
market
I don't
doing
think
a
that's
slight
bouncing
bounce.
off anything really. I mean,
It doesn't
it's
really.
good idea there though, Brendan, because we definitely want to look at Micron tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And again, like it's not like I'm not writing it
huge
down on my
volume.
sticky note now. I don't know what it's going to be, right? So we're gonna analyze the report. We're gonna look at some charts, and then we're gonna write some stuff down, and then act like we're all smart and show you the sticky note tomorrow. But you know, we will do this one last time because there it is. Yeah, there it is right there. Look at this, man. 76. We just took that out there as our last trade. Oh, we have CCL on. What am I even doing? Okay, I was just like, oh, that's not my last trade. We have CCL. So where did CCL go? Did it go to 50 or not? Nah, it just went to 60 again, 58 almost. So we'll put a bid on this one and we'll get out of CCL soon. But that's the name that we have one trade left on today, and it will be another positive one. Only one negative stock today for me, and that's going to be Meta, which is flirting at 160. And again, we could have just hit that one more time. I hope you guys did. I love that 160 level. If tomorrow's a rocket ship or we're upside tomorrow, then we will be looking at Meta anywhere around that 160 just to see if it comes through. This is worth a swing trade, in my opinion. It's just I don't know if the market's going to hold up tomorrow.
It's also a long weekend. That's the other thing.
That's the other thing. It is a long weekend, but I just think the Nasdaq's only down 1.5%, so. It's not like we could get a bounce, a relief rally tomorrow. It's not like today was that bad. So, yeah, I don't know. But I like that 160 level. If the market's up tomorrow, then, this thing will be at 164, 165. It's just a matter of what you believe in the market.
When we started the show, we started at 8:30. And we had that initial pop. This is pretty much where we were on the ES. So we kind of came full circle on the show. We had to go 100. We had to go 40 points down on the ES, then 100 points up or 80 points up, and then right back in. I'm just watching Micron because it does have some interesting levels for me. We already know about 60. Now I put some other ones in there. Obviously, you've got where we just turn around. Hey, look at that! It was early morning support on that bounce, or early afternoon support on the bounce up, and it was pre-market support, was exactly where this thing bounced. When Brendan said it bounced off a level, that's worth throwing in there. It's that 55 area, down about 20 cents or so. So I'll have it filed away because I want to make sure that I don't forget that. I always look at the higher time frame, but in case for some reason I forget to, I've already sort of filed that one away. Tony's going to be on the bell today, so LT Gray himself will be on the bell. Been a fun one. That market turn was pretty amazing, but that 3,800 level, man, it was a problem this morning. It was fireworks after it got broken later on, and it was free money if you short off that level. But if you had to stop right at 3,800, you missed a banger. But this market gives you gifts every single day. You've just got to be patient enough to take them.
Thank you to Bears versus Bulls. Great day today, man. And we don't say thank you enough to you. So thank you for everything you're doing on the chat for us here. As now it's only 10 seconds left here, and we have Tony on the bell. So you're going to see him in just under 4. There he is. Yeah, I like the thumbs up. 3, 2, and 1. There we go. Thank you, Tony. I almost I want to get that guy more involved, but he's just working on the other side.
He's busy.
So,
he's a busy man. I know.
I almost we sort of coined Tuesdays with Tony. I was thinking maybe I can get him back on Friday. I'll figure that out. We'll figure that out for tomorrow. But
we can get him on tomorrow.
We'll throw him on tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have Tony on tomorrow.
Should have him today.
We'll get him on. Okay, so right now, without spoiling anything, let's go to Brendan quickly as we await Micron.
Still red, guys. 0.86. Yeah, surprise. Still red. 0.86 here for the S&P to the downside is how we ended, it would appear. Russell 1% and change for the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. NASDAQ led all day long, 1.3 and 0.9. I say this because, hey, it's the end of the month and they're all still negative on the month as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the market that it's in, but when you're trading, it's not about the direction. It's about it's about the R&R. It's about the opportunity in either direction. And there's something out there for everybody, right? So as long as the market's moving, we're going to have opportunities, which is pretty much every day.
I'd say so, yeah. We don't have a negative day in the last 10 maybe, so it's good. Yeah, thank God, TH, it's the last day of June, correct. What a horrible first 6 months, man. We said it was the worst since 1970, so that's bad. The worst 6 months in the ES since 1970. Bye-bye Micron, by the way. Look at that move. Oh, shit. Micron is crapping on itself. It just touched $52 before reaching back to 55. So we'll wait to see. This is why, man, back down to 52, back up to 55, 53 now. There's absolutely no liquidity.
Is it even out?
I don't know. If Brendan has it, fine. But, I mean, it's a downside move there on Micron. Now 51 again. Micron is gone. Oh, shoot. Micron to the downside now as you're going lower. Bye-bye $50, I feel like. Micron missing big time. I don't even want to look at what AMD and all these guys. AMD now down to 75 and going.
This was why you had to wait to buy chips, man.
There it goes. Yeah, it's okay. It's bad, but we'll see where it bounces. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
The aftermarket hasn't always been the best indication.
No, not at all. I mean, we'll wait till tomorrow, but definitely puff, pass as Micron getting smoked right now. So let's go, man. Big show. Thank you so much for everybody today watching, going through. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to Lucas. There you go, Rob. What's up, buddy? Thanks a lot for all the help there as we are one man short. Rob did a fantastic job there today. So thanks to that. Thanks to Lucas for putting up with Rob's shenanigans. But there he is. There's Rob. Yeah, buddy.
What's up, Rob?
Good day today, Rob. Hopefully you have a nice night with you and your family for sure. Going scuba diving. Are you gone for a week or how long are you gone for?
I'll be out until Monday.
Monday. Okay. Good luck on that one. Make sure there's lots of oxygen in those tanks. Yeah, I hope so too. Good.
Otherwise, won't be in. Yeah.
Thanks for everything. Rob there again today. Thanks to Prad. Thanks to Ian. I'm pointing there. They're not at their desks, but thanks to Prad. Thanks to Luca. Thanks to Ian as well, and obviously our production team there. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Brendan. A big day today as well. Thanks to Branko's back there. Everybody that's worked on the show. Thank you so much again for everything. But we're gonna let you go on that note, man. I mean, this market is to the downside. Are you itching for something there, Brendan?
I was just going to say, it's the forecast, guys. Everything else was a miss, but it was the forecast that was.
Right, and that's what we were talking about,
We said
man.
this morning, watch they're going to guide poorly and it's going to be ugly.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Thank you so much, Guy Atlax, and everybody else that's in there. Thank you for the awesome comments and content, and we're really happy to bring it to you. So join us tomorrow where, hey, I don't need to say it's going to be a spicy day because it's going to be every day is a spicy day in this market. We're back tomorrow. We're Trader TV Live. Catch us at 8:30. Stay tuned for our Trade of the Day. It's Amazon. More bangers to come. Ciao. See you tomorrow.